So you're saying that a cast iron pan is the only acceptable way to cook a steak?
After much trial, error, experimentation, heartbreak, and victory, I have come to be of the opinion that a well-conditioned cast iron pan is the superior way to cook a steak.
Well, you're making my dad very happy right now.
Am I?
Because he used to swear by that.
Is that right?
He had one pan that he fucking loved.
This is why your dad and I always got along. Even though I have one pan, I don't know that I could ever live in a house with electric range stovetop again. I'll always have to have natural gas, and I have my big, that thing's got to weigh 12 pounds, cast iron pan, and there is so much fat and oil baked into the pores of that thing.
You never wash it?
No.
Okay, yeah. That's what my dad was like. That was his pan.
Yep.
And nobody could touch it either.
God help you if you put soap on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the same thing. Yep. All right. Well, what a good entry to this week's episode.
Did you record that?
Yeah, fuck awesome. Yeah, I recorded that. Right. We're going. We're live.
All right. Here we are.
So we're joined again by my buddy Toby Foulke, who you've done 2 other episodes, right?
2? Was there 3? We went Ranger, contract, and then would we do like a current affairs sort of COVID?
Maybe.
Or did we combine?
I don't remember, man. I'm on, this is episode 56. So I've been at it over a year.
Over a year. Dude,
and
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been fucking rad, dude.
Are your numbers still trending upwards? Like as far as
yes,
listenership?
That's so amazing. We're doing better. And I guess as long as we're doing better, I should be happy.
Yes.
But I had lofty goals for this year. Sure. I wanted to break 1 million downloads.
Okay.
And we're at 300,000. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I got some big episodes coming up. Here's the thing. A lot of people like hearing I get emails saying, hey, thanks for having that guy on, or thanks for having this gal on, because they're just normal everyday people.
Sure.
They're not like in the spotlight or celebrities.
Yep.
Every once in a while I've had a guy on or a gal on that's like, has notoriety, like BJ Baldwin.
Sure.
Or Mike Glover. Yep. And those ones tend to get a lot more listeners just because those people have their fan base.
Their following.
Right.
Too.
And so I feel like the way to have a successful podcast, at least what I'm seeing, is put out interesting content with normal everyday people, just like James Merrick, that episode.
That was awesome.
Yeah. That hit it.
I was driving home from jiu-jitsu practice at your gym listening to that, and I was dying laughing.
And I got a lot of emails saying that episode was fucking rad.
Yeah.
Because he's a normal everyday guy. He's a firefighter.
Yep.
He served in the regiment. And so people like hearing stories from people that they don't have exposure to yet. But then the other side of it is people that do have exposure generate more listens.
Sure.
So you just got to walk that line.
Yep.
But like I have a podcast scheduled for August 15th. I'm recording with Ian Smith.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm flying out to New Jersey and we're going to sit down and do an episode.
That's awesome.
So like those kind of episodes will generate a lot of views.
Yep.
Which is cool because here's the reality of podcasting. It's like, I like doing podcasts for doing podcasts. We're going to sit down and talk for the next 2 hours or whatever. It's going to be fun.
Agreed.
And if anyone listens, cool. And if they don't, I'm still going to have fun tonight.
I don't know if we said it on recording or if we were talking later after the first or second one, but like, I said, I don't care if you're and my mom are the only people that listen to this.
Yeah.
That shit was fun.
But the other side of it is
doing that too.
Yeah. We're opening our beers on the air. That sounds magnificent. The other side of it is if you're going to do this and you're going to embark on this journey, why not be successful at it?
Yeah.
And so I do care about sponsorships. I do care about how many downloads my show gets.
Yeah.
And I monitor that stuff and I want to be better. But that just goes along with how we live our life. If you're going to do something, you should be fucking good at it, right?
I literally had that thought as we're sitting in my garage right now that is pseudo turned into a home gym. And I came out here today tired and not wanting to work out. And I was like, you know what? It's okay if I just go 70%. And 15 minutes into it, I found myself deadlifting 225 for sets of 10 and supersetting with pull-ups. And I was like, wait a minute. You came out here to go easy. Back it off. Just back it off. Back it off because you need a rest day. Tomorrow will be a rest day. Or you need an easy day. Tomorrow will be a rest day. And then Saturday you can hit it hard again. But that is our personality. And that's probably what brought us, through all these experiences. I don't think that came from Ranger Regiment. I think that was already there.
I think about that stuff a lot because you know how a lot of guys from Ranger Regiment are wired the same, right?
Yeah.
Remember, we used to joke that 2nd Ranger Battalion was just a bunch of fucking clones of 6 foot tall, 185 pound bald white guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But were we molded by the regiment, or was it our personalities that motivated us to go to that unit to start with?
I can't speak for everyone, but I know in my case, it was already there. It was just a little bit further developed by the regiment. And then, so again, because I knew you were coming over as I was working out, I was thinking about, I was like, man, at some point we do need to get our shit together and do a leadership podcast. And still, like, my primary thought on leadership is you're born with it or you're not. Some people just aren't made for it, and you can't.
For sure.
Yeah, you can develop it in so much as it exists within you, but you can't just take someone who's got time in grade or time in their profession and say, okay, well, you're the senior person here based on time, so now you're in charge.
Yeah, doesn't work.
Leadership is either, I really think it's either in you or it's not. But that's another story for another day.
Well, we can talk about whatever we want, but I think two of the biggest traits that are important for leadership is like the integrity to stand behind the right thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like we saw a lot of that in the military. You don't see as much of it in the civilian sector.
No.
People are willing to kind of walk the fence and make sure, I don't want to offend this guy.
Get that promotion.
Hey, this guy fucked up and I got to fry him because there's social pressures for me to do so. Like all that stuff we see, that's not the leadership we grew up with, you know? But the other aspect of leadership that's really important, you need a certain amount of charisma. You know, you have to be able to speak to people.
People skills. Yeah.
You have to be able to talk to them. You have to be able to motivate them. And
not only that, a little bit of compassion too.
Yeah, of course.
Way. Like, make a point of knowing if I'm in charge of a crew or whatever, like what's going on with their family.
Bro, I think a little bit of a compassion goes a very long way.
And I can go back, God, it must have been 2007 or 2008. Seth Augustine got me. It was actually kind of a horrible job. The first time I tried to get out of the Army. And I remember this kid was like, he was trying hard to come up on my crew. And he's like, man, I'm going to be late to work tomorrow because my wife had a miscarriage and she has to go to the doctor and maybe have whatever all the procedures that follow that are. And I was like, I'm not going to say his name. I was like, John, if you show up to work tomorrow.
You already said his name.
I'm going to beat your ass. So you had better be at the doctor's office with your wife.
Yeah.
And from that day forward, and I went to HR and got him some sort of family emergency pay. So he was paid for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's nothing. And at his wage, that was probably like $150 to the company.
Yeah.
And to him, that was everything.
Well, bro, it just shows that you're in his corner.
Right.
You know, I talk about a lot on this show. One of the biggest leadership traits that is extremely important, but it's a very simple concept. You just have to be there and looking out for your people. You have to have their best interests in mind.
Yeah.
That's a simple concept, right?
That is my leadership philosophy even now is I work for you.
Yeah.
Like you tell me what you need to have a good day.
No,
And
so
I'm going to jump through hoops to get you whatever you need so that you can feel productive. And when you walk out of here at the end of the day, you go, man, that went pretty well.
100%, man. I was actually just listening to my own podcast with Nate Sylvester. I don't know if you know who he is. He's the cop that made the LeBron James video.
I'm backlogged 3 weeks on your podcast.
But he was talking about some leadership things, and some of the leadership in his department, they would go through like old cases and look for stuff to hem them up on.
Oh, go after their own.
Go after their own. And it's like, oh, you did this procedurally incorrect, or you didn't investigate this to the best of your capability or whatever, right? And another leadership principle is if you look hard enough, you'll find something.
God damn.
And so you can hem anyone up if you look hard enough. Like, oh, you can look at the key cards of what time they logged in or what time they walked through the office door that morning. Hey, why were you 5 minutes late? You know what I mean? But the thing is, it's like your job as a leader should not be looking to hem people up. If people need to be hemmed up, that becomes abundantly clear. You know, your shitbags rise to the top. You know exactly who they are.
They quickly identify themselves.
So instead of looking to hem people up, your job as a leader is how can I facilitate the mission?
Yes.
What kind of resources do you need allocated?
Yep.
It's very simple, but I don't know, man. It's
lost.
It's simple, but it's lost.
I say it seems simple to us, and I don't know if that's something we experienced in the regiment. And so to us, it's like, oh, this is so obvious. Whereas it's almost like people who haven't gone through that experience go through the manage up. They're worried about sucking up instead of working down. And really what you should be doing is working down, because then you'll get results. If you're working for the people who technically work for you, your results are going to speak for themselves.
Well, and you actually have a good perspective on that, because you were an NCO in the regiment, and now what is your title? You're in charge of a crew, right?
I'm a general foreman for an electrical contractor. So I'm kind of in I just got promoted a year ago to that position.
Is that mid-level leadership?
It's almost as high as you can go as labor.
Okay.
So, but on a big so we're on a $55 million, just the electrical side of the contract alone is $55 million to build a large hospital. So we have a superintendent who runs the entire thing, and that's as high as you can go as an electrician. And then we have 4 general foremen who oversee various scopes of the contract. And then I've got kind of a hybrid part of this where I'm overseeing a scope of the contract, but I also have a few guys on a crew who I'm kind of running, because I was promoted on this job. I'm still sort of maintaining my field foreman scope, but also picking up my general foreman scope.
Got it. Yeah.
So I'm fucking busy.
But dude, it's funny because you talk about basic leadership principles that we observed as young Rangers. And I always look at Jocko, right? Because what is Jocko teaching? The stuff that Jocko teaches is not rocket science. He takes basic military leadership principles and applies them to corporate settings.
Yeah.
And people fucking love him, as they should. I think Jocko's awesome. I think he's doing good stuff. Yes. But it's interesting seeing how the right person that came from a special operations background is taking something that most of us understand, because that's the world. Normal. That's the world. Yeah, that's the world we grew up in. That's just how it is. And now, fuck, man, everybody's eating it up. Yeah. And it's cool to see. Yeah. But at the same time, there's a lot of agencies and corporations and stuff that it's easy to host a seminar or have Jocko come and speak and talk about this stuff, but are you implementing it?
Yeah.
Because a lot of them aren't implementing shit.
Say, a lot of them come listen and love to listen to Jocko or listen to whoever ex soft guy say these things, but then they go right back to the system they've always had, right back to the leadership traits they've always used, and nothing changes.
So yeah, I guess we'll do a leadership episode next. So today's episode, you actually hit me up a day or two ago and you said we should talk about EDC.
EDC,
which is everyday carry. And I love this topic, and I've been geeking out on it over the last, I think a lot of people have over the last year, because EDC doesn't necessarily, it's not just what you have on your person, you know?
And we should expand it. It's not just everyday carry. I think it's more about just sort of personal reliance and the freedom and the confidence that brings you. Because that takes you into another headspace. When you can say, I rely on me, you know what I mean? Like that elevates you to a whole nother level of sort of what you're, how am I trying to say this? You know, if you enjoy personal freedoms, one of the sacrifice of personal freedoms is you have to be willing to look out for yourself, look out for your neighbors, kind of have a little community where you take care of each other in order to not have big brother sort of breathing down your neck.
Yeah, it's a weird place we're in right now, because everybody is becoming reliant on the government.
Yeah.
Right?
Stimmy checks. Gotta get that stimmy check.
And as soon as you're reliant on the governor or the government,
you're subservient.
Exactly. They can tell you what to do.
They can do anything they want.
You got to shut your business down. You got to put this on your face. You can go here. You can't go here. Yep. And it's like, no, actually we can do whatever the fuck we want.
Right. Because I rely on me.
Because I rely on me.
Yep.
And if you want to fucking do something about it, I can continue to rely on me because I have lots of capabilities.
Yeah.
But I like this episode because I've never been a big capability guy, meaning like if you look like Mike Glover,
Yeah.
everything about his life.
He's the shining example.
That's
And
exactly
actually,
right.
While we're talking about this, everybody listening should go check out Fieldcraft Survival and Fieldcraft Mobility because he puts out a ton of good information.
It's fucking
for
rad.
fucking free. Yeah.
And so I look at a guy like Mike Glover and it's like, that fucking guy is qualified to talk about EDC.
Yes.
That fucking guy is qualified to talk about capabilities.
Yes.
And my buddy Greg Lapin is big into that too. Like a lot of.
Oh, dude, I loved it must have been the last episode you did. What did he call? He called it like enhanced everyday care.
Yeah. And he had his 300 blackout.
Yeah. Because I've been doing the same. I bought an AR pistol right before all the COVID stuff kicked off, just totally on a whim. No Nostradamus moment, no nothing, just impulse buy almost.
Mm-hmm.
But it collapses down and it fits in a backpack. And when I heard him say enhanced everyday, I was like, oh,
yes,
this is so awesome.
And it fits in a Patagonia backpack,
North Face,
or North Face
Yeah,
that doesn't have Molly and a Punisher skull patch on it.
Yeah, fuck
and
no.
like,
No.
or from these cold dead hands,
Exactly,
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You-
no Molon Lobby sticker on the backpack with the gun.
Yeah, I think Lapin says he actually has converted like a laptop bag into a fucking go bag.
Like a Euro man satchel. Yeah.
But the thing is like there's guys out there that are way more dialed in on this than I am.
Totally.
But the truth is, the reason I think this is a fun podcast is because
I'm striving to get there.
I'm striving to get there too.
And it's really fun with kids because my especially my oldest is 9. And so he's coming of the age where we're starting to like pull out a map and a compass and sort of explain how grid squares work.
Mm-hmm.
Or we've got the fire pit in the backyard and I'll just say, okay, I'll give you one match. You got to make this fire start. You know what I mean? Fun. And he eats it up. And you want to talk about good, like dad time with your kids, like teach them to do this stuff. They love it.
Yeah, dude.
I can't, I have boys, but I would think girls would like it too.
Bro, I mean, I've said it a million times on this show. I thought I wanted boys. And then when I had girls, I realized like they fill all of those needs just like with your boys.
Yeah.
They're just as hungry for that kind of
We're
stuff.
biologically programmed to love our kids, and you're fucking broken if you don't.
Yeah. you're a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
If you don't.
Yeah. Even
But-
if you get really angry at them.
So like I thought we were talking off air and we thought it would be cool to share kind of our journey that's new into everyday carry. And it's like, yes, we've been good shooters our entire adult life.
Yeah.
And we've been carrying pistols. I remember when we both turned 21, we went and bought pistols immediately.
Yeah.
Young Rangers.
And
I'm
got
21
concealed
now.
carry permits.
Yeah. And you bought a Glock and I bought an HK.
Yes. That thing was huge.
And little did I know how fucking wrong I was.
And it all boiled down to, we were at that gun show in Puyallup and I didn't know shit. And I picked up the Glock and I was like, this fits my hand. This is the one.
Yeah.
That was literally how I made the decision.
Well, you made the right decision.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
ever since then, like when we were Rangers, people have a misconception. The Ranger Regiment, I mean, maybe now they do more pistol work, but when we were in, there was no pistol work. We would shoot Beretta 92Fs like once a year or some bullshit like that.
I think it was more often than that, but it was never. So we trained hard with M4s and M249s and M240s and Carl Gustavs, but the M9 Beretta was a range toy. It was like, all right, we've been on the range for 8 hours. Oh, hey, we got 1,000 rounds of 9mm over here. You guys want to blast some rounds?
Yeah.
And it was total fuck off time.
And nobody had good pistol fundamentals
Nothing.
either.
We didn't know shit. It was at triple canopy training that we were taught how to shoot a pistol for the first time.
Yep. I learned good pistol fundamentals from the Delta guys, from the Force Recon guys.
Yep.
And then some of the team guys.
Yeah.
Like the Team 6 guys were good with pistols too.
Yep.
And once we were contracting, Glocks were just part of life.
Yeah.
You know? And then every agency I've ever worked for since then, Glocks.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
And so when I see people shooting SIGs, it hurts my heart.
And then the Navy swears by those things.
You know, here's the thing.
They're probably legit though.
There's a lot of
quality firearms, and the one that's on my belt right now is made by Springfield Armory.
There you go. Right. And so there's a lot of good, like, as far as quality and craftsmanship, Springfield, SIG, HK, all those companies are top of the food chain.
Yes.
And so I'm just busting people's balls when I say that, because I fall in love with Glock. But I fall in love with Glock because, just like you said, when you hold a Glock, like, ergonomically, it feels like they fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
Whereas other guns, and maybe it's just a product of shooting Glocks for 20 years now,
Yeah.
they just feel off, you know? And so it's been the most reliable combat handgun the world has ever known.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like trying to reinvent the wheel, you know?
Why would you? And I can still take my bone stock Glock that I bought in 2001 out to the range. And actually, the last time I was out there with the guys from the gym, and I was shooting a 4-inch group at, I don't know, 9 meters or something like that. You know what I mean? There's no reason to stray from that. And the other thing that has crossed my mind is we should really all commit to, within our little group of friends, if we all commit to Glock 19s.
Yeah, we can.
Magazine sharing.
Exactly.
That's the one thing that irks me. I bought this Springfield and I'm like, son of a bitch. I can't toss a magazine to anybody.
Yeah.
And nobody can toss it back to me.
So I have 2 Glocks. So we'll just go right into it, because I think ED, or everyday carry, everybody thinks of guns first, right? Yep. So we'll talk about the guns and then we'll go into all the other stuff. And again, I want people to know that, like, this is a journey that I'm embarking on. And I think it's cool to share this with everybody as we go. I'm not the subject matter expert. If you want the subject matter expert, talk to Mike Glover or Greg Lapin.
Yeah.
But this is a cool place to start, because we have a lot of knowledge, and I think we can apply that to EDC in a very competent way.
Yeah.
So I carry 2 guns. I carry my Glock 43X, which is the small.
Describe that, because beyond the 1917 and the 22-23, I don't know. All these new concealed carry with, like, there was like the 46 and then the 47, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, there's a lot of different Glock variants, but so the 43, the 43X, and I actually want to replace my 43X with a 48, but they're all 9mm, right? Yeah. You can get these variants in different calibers.
So my Glocks are 40. And people want to get into the round debate. And literally, again, 2001, Delta was carrying 40 caliber Glocks. So I was like, fuck, if it's good enough for them,
yeah,
it's good enough for Specialist Foulke and 2nd Ranger Battalion. And now I have 2 40 caliber Glocks, a 22 and a 23, and a ton of ammo and a ton of magazines. And it's like,
yeah, you don't want to start over.
Exactly. Except for that thing that I said about we need to be able to share magazines.
Well, I'll tell you this, because I made the switch from 40 to 9mm. And bro, it is a noticeable difference in recoil.
Yes. So because when I contracted with GRS, we were issued 17s in Iraq and Glock 19s in Pakistan.
Okay. So yeah, you know the difference then.
So we would go to the range, and it actually worked out really well for me, because I'd come home and do my own training with my 40 cals. And then when I had to go do my yearly qualification, we would have to go back through, like, the certification course once a year. And shooting that 9mm was almost like shooting a kid's cap gun.
No, yeah. It feels like you're fucking, it feels like you're almost cheating.
Yeah, exactly.
But so that's why, like, and again, like, I'm not a big ballistics guy, but I listen to people that know more than me. The 9mm round has proven to be just as, like, devastating to human tissue
as a 40.
As a 40.
Okay.
Right. But so this is I'll show you. This is the Glock that I have. 2 Glocks. I have the 43X, which is my concealed carry, because it's tiny. It's a little, it's like the
singles. Is it like a slim down?
Yep. Single stack. It holds 10 rounds. There's a company called Shield Arms that offers
metal magazines.
Yep. That hold 15.
Oh shit.
They get 15 rounds in the same size handle.
Nice.
As Glock gets 10 rounds. But because of that, those things are almost impossible to fucking find. You can find them on, like, they're $40 a mag on the Shield Arms website, which is always out of stock.
Yep.
And if you find them on Gunbroker, there's like hundreds of dollars per magazine.
Jesus.
But I like that gun because what I found is I used to carry a 19 as like my everyday concealed carry.
Yeah, but it's big.
It's just big.
Yeah.
And if you're in board shorts or you're just going to the gas station, you find yourself leaving it in your car because
Yep.
you take it off because it's uncomfortable. So I got a really small Glock to try and combat that. And I find myself, I put it on with my Allegiance holster. Shout out. Coupon code endless for 10% off. But what that does is I put it on and then I forget about it. And I'm comfortable driving. I'm comfortable sitting. And then before I know it, I'm now living my life with my Glock on my hip, which is what it should be.
Yeah.
Because you never know when some bullshit's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know? So that's my concealed carry. But my go-to war gun is this, my 19X. And the 19X it's the Glock 19 slide with a longer handle. That's the 17 handle on a 19 slide.
So why not, if this is your battle belt gun?
Why not have a full-size slide?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, the shorter slide, you can control it better. You can get more meat on the gun. And I know this sounds kind of counterproductive, but I had a 34 as well, which is the really, really long barrel.
With the fluted slide? Yeah.
I would consistently outshoot my 34 with my 19.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. And I'm telling you, for anyone listening that's been wondering about the RMR red dot debate on combat pistol, I can hit an E-type silhouette consistently at 100 yards with that.
So I've heard people say this, and I have to ask, does a 9mm round have terminal ballistics at 100 meters?
What do you mean by like?
Is it effective?
I don't know. I've never shot a human being with a 9mm at 100 meters.
So cause everybody's like, oh yeah, you can hit out to 80 yards, 100 yards, 120 with one of these red dots. And it's like, yeah, you can punch a hole in paper, but at 100 yards.
And I can hear the steel target go, ting,
ting. Yeah.
That's all I want, bro.
So where's all we need all the internet armchair warriors to chime in.
Yep. Well, and gun people eat their own. So anything that we say related to guns.
I'm glad that this is your podcast because you're about to get some hate mail.
Yeah, you'll have half the people being like, fuck yeah, bro. Fuck yeah.
Fuck your cast iron pan and fuck yeah, I can kill someone at 100 yards.
And dude, I'm the first to say a fucking handgun is not a combat weapon.
No.
Period.
And that's why I bought this little guy. This is a Springfield Hellcat.
Yeah.
And it's tiny. And for all the same reasons you just described, when I'm wearing a pair of shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops, it can still, like, I don't even really need a belt to hold it up. It can just kind of go in the waistband of my board shorts. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't like, I wouldn't say I quite forget it's there. And I don't appendix carry. Like I'm still a 5 o'clock over my right butt cheek. Just because
you don't like a weapon point at your dick.
Exactly. And
Dude,
not only that, but
it's hard to get used to.
Yeah. Shout out to all my skinny guys out there. Like appendix carry prints like a motherfucker. Whereas 5 o'clock, it actually doesn't print very much. But again, people are like, yeah, but it's so small. And like, I consider a 9mm a 15-meter weapon at most.
Well, and
this is for gas station buggings. Yep. This is not for
combat scenarios, shooting a dude 3 blocks away.
The Chinese have invaded the West Coast and we need to rally up.
So I'll tell people your combat pistol that is on your belt with your vest and your rifle, it is for when your rifle malfunctions or goes dry.
Yeah. Oh, can I give a
you know what I'm saying?
Shout out? Also, speaking of combat pistols, so I have my full size is a Glock 22 with a Streamlight flashlight on it. Serpentine holsters. Former First Bat guy made me a custom Kydex insert that goes into a double mag pouch that holds my Glock 22 with that big ass flashlight on the bottom of it, and that's pretty dope.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool, man. But yeah, so like when I say I can hit a 100-meter target with a Glock 19, what I have found is shooting at distance, and I haven't done a lot of shooting with my RMR. People say there's like this weird transition when you go from irons to red dot.
I was struggling to pick it up even just now when you handed it to me.
Dude, I didn't go through that. It was weird.
Really?
Like it felt natural.
Okay.
The first day I was shooting with that, I was shooting substantially better. And what I found is, yes, I can shoot a fucking E-type silhouette at 100 meters. But dude, when you're at 25 meters, it almost feels like you're cheating now.
Really?
Yeah. Like I went out to my property the other day and was shooting a dinner plate size piece of steel.
Yeah.
75 meters.
Do you think it's because the sight picture is smaller than with the 3 dots line? You know what I mean? If you
For
back
sure.
out.
Yeah. And then just like any red dot, you turn it down
Okay.
as much as you
Oh,
can.
so you're dialing it up. It's not like it comes out of your holster and you're just using it that way. You're dialing it up and down like we used to with comp
with your
Ms.
comp M. Yeah. Depending on the ambient light and the environment, you know?
I thought they were one.
Some of them are like my buddy that I was shooting with that day. His red dot is set at one setting.
Okay.
It's a fucking nightmare because when you pull it out and you get a sight picture, we were in the woods. It was kind of dark.
Yeah.
It's like blinding you.
Oh.
You know? So you remember how like the comp M's, you turn it down pretty much to as low as you can still pick up the dot.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing I do with that, you know?
Interesting. Because again, to me, a pistol's an oh shit weapon. It's not your primary fighting weapon. So whatever it comes out of the holster set at, that's what you're fighting.
Yep. No, I hear you. But it's also fun.
Yeah.
It's also
totally.
fun hitting steel at 100 meters. Tank. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. We used to play pistol pig on the range in Mosul. See how, back up. Start with 2 hands. Your first miss, you lose your left hand. Now you're one-handed with your right. Second miss, you go one-handed with your left, and then you're out.
Dude, one offhand shooting
Yeah.
is fucking hard with a pistol.
Tough. And bro, I hit at like 75 yards left-handed. Total luck. But I played it off. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I carry for Glocks or for EDC. And now like it's easy to get carried away because how much do you need on your body? Well, if you're going to carry a gun, you should have a spare mag.
Should you?
I don't know. I've had a lot of people say, yes, you should.
That's one of the things I was going to bring up. So here's my second magazine for my Hellcat. And most of the time it's in the little center console by my elbow. And
I'll tell you, my spare mag also in the center console of my Forerunner.
Yeah.
But if I need it, that's not a very good place to have it at, right?
No, but also situation dependent.
Yeah.
If I'm road tripping with my wife and kids, do I need it in my pocket? No. And I can't think of a reason why I would go into downtown Seattle right now. But in that scenario,
yeah, you might throw it.
I would grab it out of the console.
And throw it in your pocket. Yep. Yeah. There's well, I shouldn't even bring this up because
we only carried 4 magazines on patrol in Afghanistan because we're walking up to 11,000 feet above sea level.
Wasn't that's crazy to think about, dude.
Situation dictates your loadout.
Yeah.
And if you're in board shorts and flip-flops, your loadout's going to be different than if you're in jeans and a sweatshirt or a jacket.
For sure. I think about that, dude. When we were in Afghanistan, at those elevations, 4 magazines, no body armor,
1 grenade,
no helmet.
Yep.
You're in bitter radio and have fun.
Yeah.
And then like fast forward to Ramadi where I burned through 7 mags inside of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a potential for us to get into shit where that may not have been sufficient. No. But then the other side of it is
a K-bar on my belt for that reason.
You can carry what you can carry. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And like, remember when the 82nd rolled into Barry Cow, Afghanistan?
Dude, I was their guide. Remember, we manned the OP for like a month before they got there.
Yep.
And so I think they had only been there one night. And platoon sergeant called me over and he's like, hey, 80 Deuce has taken over the OP, but they need this first walk up. You need to guide them up. I was like, Roger that. He said, get have all your gear, be here at the talk at whatever, like 0700.
And by all your gear is your rifle and a boonie cap.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, I had my rifle, I had my chest rig with, like I said, 4 mags, a grenade, embedder radio, med pouch. And then I had my Army issue Camelback, about the size of that one there. Like I think that's like a 12-liter backpack.
Uh-huh.
And in that, I had a bottle of water, a power bar, my nods, and maybe like some spare batteries for my PEC 2. And that was my loadout. And those guys all showed up in full battle rattle, helmets, body armor, rucksacks. I mean, the full shebang. And we started walking, and we're going up that steep hill to the OP, and they had to sit down to rest, obviously, because they're smoked. And I was like, "Hey, Lieutenant," because they sent a whole platoon, to replace our fire team. And I was like, "Lieutenant, maybe we should go back to the fob, and you guys can ditch the body armor, and maybe, if you want to keep the Kevlars, I get it. And like, I get that you have orders and all that, but I don't know if we're going to make it." And he's like, "Hey man,
it's above his pay grade."
He's like, "I'm with you, but the general order from division command is outside defense. We are body armor, Kevlar, full combat load at all times, and that's non-negotiable."
Fuck, bro. I remember them having heat casualties on patrol and having to like return to base early because dudes were getting sick and falling out. And it's like, I get your marching orders that are given to you by your headquarters, but if you're combat ineffective, what are we even doing here? Why are we even out here playing this game? Like, just stay in the safe house.
Situation absolutely affects your loadout.
And dude, we didn't know how good we had it in regiment because that was our reality. That was the life we were living.
Yeah.
But talking to like so many other units, shit like that, like, dude, we were 21, 22-year-old E5s. Hey, I'm going to take my fire team. I'm going to go across the Kunar River, and I'm going to set a patrol base in.
We're going to walk to the Pakistan border and set up for the night.
And I'm going to set a patrol base in with my team. I'll take a gun team with me.
Yeah.
Have fun, Anderson. Check in at this time. Lieutenant Satterland, who's now Colonel Satterland.
Is he?
Yeah.
Awesome.
He's a full bird now.
Good.
Dude, we had the autonomy to do whatever the fuck we wanted. And I've even had guys that have went on to the unit have said, like, we never had that kind of freedom again.
Yeah.
03 and Barry Cow was do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's fucking how it should be.
It should. Yeah.
Like, you can't tell everybody, you can't put a blanket order on this is the uniform because the uniform, what you're wearing down in Kandahar versus what you're wearing at fucking 12,000 feet in Barry Cow, it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had a good Marine buddy at GRS, and he's like, "Man, we had a pretty good little war going until the lawyers got involved." And I was like, "Bro, you nailed it."
Yeah. They fucking ruin everything.
Right.
So I think the next cool thing to talk about with EDC is this is the one that I'm starting to geek out on is your vehicle loadout.
Okay.
Or have you got into that? Do you have?
So I have this backpack, and so part of the reason I was thinking about this is I put a picture up on it on Instagram of my I was calling it my travel kit, and it's kind of the same as what Lapin was calling his enhanced everyday carry.
TM.
Yeah. Yeah. Trademarked. He should trademark that. So we were fixing to go for a road trip, and I was like, well, it's the 4th of July. If ever Antifa needed a reason to, have a little resurgence here, 4th of July is a good day to do it. And I was like, all right, well, I'll just pack a few extra things. And normally that backpack just lives in the backseat of my truck, but then I added the AR pistol in the rack just for good measure. But the idea of the backpack is it's not necessarily like violence. It's, you could be at work and, we live on a fault line. The experts all say that it's not a matter of when or if Seattle's going to have a major earthquake, it's when.
Yeah.
So I could be at work 20 miles from home, have a massive earthquake, and all the overpasses and freeways are broken up. And, Jen and I have talked about it before. If there is some sort of natural disaster, we're just, wherever we are, we're coming home. Mm-hmm. So really the point of that backpack,
this is the rally point,
is to get home. So it's got a little bit of food, a little bit of water. It's got a ham radio, which can, you can communicate with people. I've got all the local repeaters programmed into it. I've got a few sort of private point-to-point channels that I cloned with a couple people and I think your Baofangs had a different, for some reason, your Baofangs wouldn't take the clone.
Yeah, I remember you were looking into that, and that's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand fucking comms like you do.
Yeah.
But no, that's a good thing to talk about because if the fucking grid goes down from whatever, fucking natural disaster or
we had rolling brownouts in King County, which is Seattle, last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The heat wave.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's just bizarre to me that people think the life that we
Your cell
know,
phone's just guaranteed. Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of here. And so we went and bought radios. I bought a Baofeng, but then you also told me, no. Buy the, how do you even say that?
I would say Islands.
Islands.
And I've got the same one in my vest over there sticking out. And the only reason I went with that one is because it's capable of both digital and analog, and it's also rated as waterproof and shockproof.
Okay.
So the Baofeng is not waterproof. You have to kind of baby it a little bit, but it's way easier to use.
So ham radio networks, they are basically independent of anything else.
Yeah.
Any cell towers or any of that stuff.
Good old Nikola Tesla, like just antenna wave theory. Like you can create a wave with a handheld device, and anybody who has a capable receiving antenna can receive that wave and transform it back to voice. So you can't, if you have that capability, you can't really have it taken away from you as long as you have some way to provide a power source for it, a way to charge your batteries or a way to hardwire it into a power source.
I got to tell the story because we bought our ham radios and then we found a ham radio operator and he teaches ham radio courses. And we were texting with him as
for the sake of licensing.
For the sake of licensing. Yeah. We're like, hey, listen, like we got these and we had a mutual friend or something. That's how I got in touch with him. And I said, we want to take like a crash course,
Yeah.
And I forget what he said.
He said something about my students have like a 95% pass rate on their license test.
Yeah. And you just go, bro, I don't give a fuck about the license, dude. If I'm ever in a position where I need to use this thing, I don't give a fuck if I have like the fucking, the legal authority to be on your ham radio network. And
Go
then
ahead, triangulate my position and come get me.
And then he went cold.
Silent.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I guess he didn't like that. Like, fuck your ham radio rules. We're going to do whatever we want. But it's the truth, man. Like, if you and I need to communicate,
we're going to communicate.
Yep. And if it's it's fucking post-apocalyptic America, fuck your ham radio rules, right?
Oh, goddamn.
You also got a whip antenna for it?
So I bought a couple of different antennas because they're cheap. Even the good ones, I think, are only like $18. So really, I was nerding out pretty heavily when we were locked down for 5 weeks a year ago. And then I went back to work and got really busy and sort of fell off of it.
Yeah.
But that is something that would be really good to sort of reopen our little testing program. I think I was having Jen sit here on the couch and I could get up to like a mile point to point, which is good because we're on flat ground and we're transmitting through trees and houses and there's a lot of obstacles in the way. So to be able to go 1 mile point to point with little handheld radios, I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, there's a ton of information on YouTube. I wish I could think of the guy's name who has a really good YouTube channel. It'll come to me. I'll bring it up later.
Well, then I'll put this out there. If you're listening and you're super fucking dialed in with ham radios and you're local or you're willing to come to Washington, come fucking teach us.
Yeah.
Like absolutely. I want to expand my knowledge on that because it boils down to the fucking infantryman bread and butter, shoot, move, and communicate, right?
Yeah. Oh, totally. And the one, so with all this everyday carry thing, everybody wants to focus on guns.
Yeah, of course.
And everybody forgets about, all right, what's your backup comm? Do you have a rally? Do you and your wife have a rally plan? Do you have first aid? Like what's in your house? Do you have tourniquets in your house?
Yeah.
I bought a 4-pack of tourniquets for like, I don't know, $20 or something. They're pre-made. They just come to your house. You know what I mean? Amazon drops them off on your doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have gauze? Do you have ace bandage? Do you have all, there's a lot more to being prepared than just buying a gun and some ammo.
No. And so perfect segue, Foulke. You read my mind.
There we are.
A medical kit. So in your car, you should have a medical kit.
Absolutely.
Tourniquet is the most important thing. And I think the cat tourniquet is probably proven to be the most reliable and the most high quality. And there's a bunch of fake companies that are making cats, but go get a real one. Spend $22 or whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah. So the ones I bought, like the 4-pack, they're not cats, but I think they're legit because they have the metal, you know, the
windlass.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's actually made out of metal. It's not plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, 4 of them for $25 or $20 or something like that.
And you remember, like when we were new privates, a tourniquet was like almost a no-no. Remember, it was like a field dressing, then a pressure dressing.
It had to be under case of certain death.
And if they're still bleeding, okay, let's put a tourniquet on. And then they learned through trial and error and lots of people being shot and blown up in Afghanistan and Iraq. Because like, oh, actually you can slap a tourniquet on someone and they can save that limb even after 8-10 hours.
Yes. And really, I think trauma surgeons gained a ton of experience in those wars. So it really came from their sort of like, a lot of advancements in trauma medicine came out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry, I just looked it up. The YouTube channel is Ham Radio Crash Course.
Okay.
And the dude is, he thinks like us, and he's a ham radio nerd, and he's very knowledgeable.
All right. I'll have to check that out.
Yep.
But if you're going to have any medical piece of equipment, just have a tourniquet.
Yeah. Or some gauze. You can, if you have some Kerlex gauze or just some, you can slap that onto a heavy bleeder wound and then tie a t-shirt around it, wrap your belt around it, and just create a pressure dressing with that gauze material. And it's funny, like a lot of places, like my work requires me to be CPR trained. But if you think about like the number of people that die from blood loss, whether it's car accidents or just some sort of household act, like your Siler stabbed herself in the foot.
Yeah.
Or even like a mass shooter event, like one of these active shooter events. Tons of people trained in CPR, tons of people know the Heimlich maneuver. How many average citizens know how to make a pressure dressing?
Well, bro, and CPR does not address trauma-related injuries.
No.
Because that means...
It's cardiac arrest.
Yeah, it's cardiac arrest. It means you're having a fucking heart attack. No. Trauma-related injuries is just a fucking plumbing issue.
Yeah.
You're running out of fucking blood.
Yeah.
And so if your heart is stopping because there's not enough blood flow to support life, you can push on that chest all fucking day. That's not going to bring those people back. You know, that's why, like, I had a PJ buddy who, he told me when he was in Iraq and he would fucking arrive at IEDs or fucking, you know, young Marines that got shot that are laying there dead.
Yeah.
He said he'd hear all the time, like, well, fucking start doing CPR on him. And he goes, I'm not doing CPR on him. And he's like, people would get mad at him for it. Yeah. And he's like, you don't understand.
There's no blood left.
Yeah. This guy has already bled out.
Yeah.
There's nothing that we can fucking do about this, you know? So it just is what it is. But here, I brought my fucking vehicle bag.
Good.
And dude, and I don't have a lot of like high speed cool stuff. I just got some regular bullshit in there.
Yeah, actually,
you know?
One of the reasons I suggested you bring your stuff is so that when we get into, especially the long guns, I have like a weird mix of high end and very budget that you're going to get a little hate on, but at the same time, like we all live in the real world. Not all of us are rich. Like we have families.
Yeah, you gotta make
like you got to kind of look and be like, all right, how much do I want to spend here? How much do I want to spend on this piece of gear? How much do I, you know?
Well, dude, that's actually a really good point because when 2020 kicked off and everything started getting crazy, it was easy to articulate to Jenny, the world's coming to a fucking end. I need IR lasers. I need this. I need that. I need the. And so like we spent a substantial amount of money on equipment.
Yeah.
The world did not come to an end. Yeah. So here I am.
But you know what? Here I am right now. 37% of US dollars have been printed in the last like 16 months. And I'm going, why should I hang on to my cash? I should turn my cash into equipment.
To weapons. Yeah. But no, but my point is it's like, it's easy. You can spend as much as you want on preparedness.
Yeah.
You could fucking, you know what? I mean, I could spend every fucking dollar I have tomorrow.
Yeah.
If money wasn't an issue, but you have to fucking budget this shit. So then you have to figure out, okay, what is important? What's not important?
Yeah.
You know? And so I kind of think a nice, at least one high quality rifle that you can rely on that's going to run. Although mine doesn't have a forward assist.
I was just not going to bring that up.
You can bring it up, dude.
It bugs me.
I know it does.
And so I think you have a precision rifle. And to me, precision means finicky, and you got to have the right magazines and the right ammo and the right. And what I want is more of a grunt. I want
something that's going to run.
I want an infantryman's rifle that can go through the swamp, that can get drugged through the shit, and it's just going to fucking go.
Yeah. So I bought a Wilson Combat AR-10, and I have a Colt AR-15. I have a Bushmaster AR-15. I have a Stag Arms AR-15. So I have a decent, and I also have a AR pistol, but I still want more. I want a LaRue tactical. That's my that's my final AR.
I think that's a legit, like, everyday, that's an infantryman's gun.
But I bought the AR-10 because I wanted a rifle that's in 308. And I've always heard good things about Wilson Combat, but the truth is, with the price of ammo, I've hardly put any rounds through it. Yeah. I went to the range with you that one day, and the Magpul magazines weren't fucking working with that gun.
Yeah. That gun does not like polymer magazines.
No, it likes metal magazines. Yeah. And so when I went to the interwebs to ask questions, and that's what everybody said. They're like, you can't run fucking plastic magazines in that gun. Okay. Which is kind of irritating. Yeah. Right?
Oh, totally.
Because when you're on the battlefield,
someone tosses you a magazine. Hey, bro. Hey, you got a metal one?
Yeah, give me a metal one. This doesn't work. But I got the Wilson Combat AR-10. I put an Elcan Spectre on it.
Fucking awesome.
I like that optic.
That's a great optic.
Lapin hates on it. He goes, really? Because I like Elcans and ACOGs, like old school, reliable,
infantry proof,
right? Yeah. And he tells me that. He goes, well, we're not in the fucking mountains of Afghanistan anymore. I said, I'm always in the mountains.
We might be in the fucking mountains of Washington.
Yeah, that's right. And so I like Elcans and ACOGs because I can fight in the mountains with it, but I can also kick a door with it too.
Yes.
And trust me, red dots are cool. EOTechs are cool.
Oh,
but EOTechs are cool close up. Yep. If you know we're fighting door to door and I'm kicking doors in and I'm working up stairwells and shit.
Damn thing in the world.
Cool, right? Yeah. But as we learned, even in Iraq, dude, is like
urban fighting happens rooftop to rooftop, and window to window
all the time.
And that little bit, so like on my long barrel gun over there, you see that I have that 1 through 6, and
the Louis pulled. Yeah.
Vortex.
It is a Vortex?
Vortex. Shout out to Vortex. They give, if you're listening to this, Vortex has a 40% veterans discount and a lifetime warranty that covers you being a stupid infantryman and doing all the stupid things you do to it. They, no questions asked. They just fucking replace it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm a Vortex fanboy for life because of that.
But I was going to say, like, the first dude that I ever killed was at 363 meters.
With an AR-10.
With an AR-10. Yeah. And I hit it with a laser rangefinder afterwards for bragging rights. That's But dude, I was on a rooftop.
There's a Canadian guy who shot a guy at like 3,000 meters. He's like, bitch.
Bro, well, hey, just listen. If you're fucking killing dudes at 3,000 meters, and I'm not hating on you, kill whoever you want, right?
You got a little lucky.
But for you to articulate that guy, like, how can you tell what that guy's doing? How can you tell what that guy has in his hands? Like, unless you have like a ISR, like saying, hey, we got a guy here doing this, right? Yeah. But because I remember I read fucking Carlos Hathcock's book. And I loved that book too, man. And he's talking about killing dudes at 2,500 meters. Yeah.
They bought their fucking 30-06s from like Ace Hardware and had them shipped over to Vietnam.
But I was like, dude, if you're killing dudes at 2,500 meters, that's basically just sport at that point. And I'm not hating on him at all. That's fucking hilarious.
It's effective warfighting.
But even at 363 yards, like the ROE, fuck, dude, Iraq in the early days, if they had a gun, they're dead. Right?
Oh, if they had a cell phone, they're dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. And so like the ROEs were they were just loose ROEs. Yeah. And the guy had a fucking AK slung on his back.
Yeah, done,
right? Yeah. But even that was hard to fucking like identify at that distance.
Oh, bro.
You know?
That is, and even with my short barrel, it's a 10.5-inch barrel. It's a very close in weapon. I still kind of want to put a 1 through, even though the EOTech is a superior, like, close quarters battle sight. There's a part of me that wants to buy another 1 through 6 to put on that gun, because having that, even if you don't use it for fighting, just being able to dial out to 6 magnification for like situational awareness and seeing what people are doing, like identifying people, identifying equipment and weapons and whatnot, that's so valuable.
Yeah. And so there's a company called Unity Tactical, and this is how I want to build my next AR. And I want to run like a Comp M, like an Aimpoint Comp M.
Yeah.
And then the Unity Tactical comes with a mount.
Vortex makes a clone
That's half price.
And warranted.
There's a mount that Unity Tactical makes that like a 3 power clips right into, and it can rotate up or down. So you can take your door kicker gun.
Yeah.
And then
do you think 3 power is enough? Because honestly, sometimes I'm not sure 6 power is enough.
I mean, it just depends, right? It depends on the mission.
Yeah.
Like
I have an ACOG in my safe, and I love it because for the same reason I like that Elcon, because it's infantry proof, but it's only, I can't remember, it's 3 or 4.
Fixed. I think 3.5.
Okay. But it's almost like it's not enough to really be effective, but it's too much to fight in a room. Kind of, you know what I mean? It's almost like it's sort of like tweener and not really good at either.
Yeah. Well, well, that's the whole argument with tactical gear. It's like, if you want it to do too many things, then it doesn't do anything very well. Yeah, right. True. But then the other side of it is,
if you're an infantryman,
if I'm an infantryman and I'm living out of my pack,
I got to patrol a ridge line.
This is my equipment.
Clear a village.
I don't have 6 guns to choose from. I got to make one work with everything.
Yep.
You know? And so I feel like I want 2 weapons, basically. I want my AR-10, which the truth is, do I want to be walking up fucking ridge lines all day with that thing?
Fuck no.
It's too big, too heavy.
Be walking up ridge lines, period.
But then I want to build that LaRue Tactical, and I want that to be like my go-to-war gun.
So I've been eyeing BCM, is what
a lot of people like BCM. I don't know anything about them, but they're getting a lot of traction right now.
Owned by a former Marine, which again, that gives them bonus points. And then a lot of people recommend them, like former soft guys are recommending them as personal. And so I'm kind of eyeing like a 14. My thought is a 14.5-inch barrel pinned, so I can run it as a rifle with a 1 through 6, and that would be like a pretty good compromise of an all around. Again, just an infantryman's rifle that you can drag through the woods, run through a village, hit the rooftops. Kind of, maybe not expert at any one thing, but jack of all trades.
Yeah,
jack of all trades, master of none.
Well, and that's what we had in the regiment. I mean, our Colts were 14.5-inch
barrels, but we had those red dots on them. And I can remember being on, out in the mountains in Afghanistan, thinking like, God, it'd be nice to have like the Leopold 10 power I have on my deer rifle right now. I wish I had brought that fucking thing and I could have just swapped it out and put it on the top. No.
You could have, dude. Those were the good old days. I know. Nobody gave a fuck what we were doing.
Nobody would have said shit.
I brought my own Beretta. Remember that?
Yes.
I brought my own Beretta to Afghanistan because I was like, dude, the regiment doesn't issue pistols. And I knew that we would be doing like a lot of vehicle mounted patrols. I was like, I want a pistol.
Yeah. You're driving.
So then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll bring my own. No issues.
And remember, there was a lot of talk in the barracks, like guys who had Glocks. You might have been the only one who actually owned a Beretta. And it was like, man, should I just bring my Glock? Should I? And I was like, better not. We're good.
Yeah.
Too hard.
Well, because that's a fucking red flag.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
How the fuck did you get that thing?
But I remember because like there's I don't even remember the process when we redeployed, but you line up on the tarmac and it was like
dumped our bags.
Yeah. There was like some kind of health and welfare, right?
Shakedown.
But they looked right at my pistol and nobody said a word,
So how would they know? They're not checking serial
unless
numbers.
they're checking serial numbers with our battalion armor, which
looked like a good old M9.
Yeah.
But I remember a bunch of guys had like AK-47s and like some of those weird, like, because the British had invaded Afghanistan in like the early 1900s and occupied it a little bit. And so I remember all those dudes that we'd see out in the desert had like the long bolt action rifles. And so guys were buying them off them for like an MRE and like two packs of Pine Light cigarettes. And it was like, oh shit, should we try to take this home? Better not. And I think one time when we came home, nobody looked at anything. Maybe the first deployment in Kandahar, because it was still we were just living in tents in the dirt.
Yeah.
And then the second deployment in 2003, things were a little more built up in Bagram. And they were
given speeding tickets on Route Disney by then, remember?
And they dumped our sea bags before we got on the bird.
Cocksuckers, dude. Fuck
those
you.
Guys. Yeah.
Now, I remember
there was some shit that came home from the guys who were in Iraq.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, oh fuck, that's legit shit.
Dude, to the victor goes the spoils.
Yeah.
Let the young Rangers fucking add something to their collection.
Yeah.
Like everybody's grandfather had something from World War II. Like
in the team room in Mosul, when I was working GRS, we had a bunch of like RPDs and PKMs and AK-47s, RPG tubes and all kinds of shit on the wall, all with like the bolts welded shut. And then at some point, the new chief of base came in and was like,
"You can't have those.
This is all contraband. It has to go."
What a faggot.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that guy.
In case you're wondering, I'm bringing the word faggot back. Because, bro,
there needs to be a derogatory term, not for gay people, but for people who just suck at life.
And that's not what the word faggot's not for gay people.
Yeah.
It's for people that suck at life.
Yeah.
And they've stripped it from us.
Exactly.
So you know what? It's coming back. If you don't like it, fuck you.
I'm on board.
Speaking of gay people, I know this is kind of a tangent.
Are you coming out?
You wouldn't be so lucky. Have you seen the video going around today of the choir, the gay choir in San Francisco?
No.
Oh, bro, they're singing a song. I'll show it to you when we get off the air. It's the most fucking ridiculous thing you've ever seen. We're coming for your kids.
What?
Yeah, that's what they say. We're coming for your kids, and we're going to convert them to gay. And before you know it,
they haven't met my boys. Good luck. Like, come on, like honestly, come on in, give it a try for 6 hours. You're going to leave real frustrated.
but dude, it's like super aggressive. It's like you like talking about how like
some of this shit I think is a joke. Like what was the COVID song?
But it was the same choir. It was that same choir, dude.
I think this is actually the anti-vax people making a video about people singing about COVID vaccines.
Yeah.
I was like,
vaccinate,
it's that
vaccinate.
Bad. It's that
Let's
bad.
Get rid of COVID. I'm like, who the fuck could stand up there? Yeah. I don't care if you're gay or straight. You're still a fucking man and have the dignity to fucking sing that shit, dude.
Jesus Christ.
So it's that same choir talking about how we're going to convert your kids. We're going to convert your kids. And I was like, bro, those guys are going to last 10 minutes after the apocalypse. That's it, dude. 10 minutes.
Not only that, but like the one thing I've always said about like sexuality is you don't get to like, my dick led me through life from age 14 to about
to 40 30, right now.
Yeah. maybe like a year ago. Like you don't get to choose.
Well, like, and here's the thing, dude.
Whatever it likes, it's going to follow.
Well, and that's exactly the point is like, isn't that the overarching theme of homosexuality is that people are born who they're born?
Yeah. Like
you're you, I'm me. Like it is what it is, right? Yeah. So what are you talking about? You're going to convert.
No,
I thought the whole thing was you are who you are.
Yeah.
You are who you are, but we're going to convert you. Yeah. That's the same message as me saying like, you know what? We're going to take gay people and we're going to make them straight.
Yeah. What
the fuck are you talking about? You know?
It's ridiculous.
It is. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. But it's easy to get fired up on all the bullshit on the internet.
I'm going to stand up and grab another beer. Do you want one?
Yeah, I'll do one more. And so I'm going to unpack this bag. This is my go bag that I take in my car. And it's nothing fancy. I don't even know where this bag is from. But another piece of equipment that I like is this Garmin 66i.
I bought Gen 1 for Christmas because she's real into snowshoeing and like backcountry hiking.
Okay. Yeah.
It has the SOS button on it.
Exactly. It has an SOS button on it.
She can text me.
That's what I like about this. This is, and you have to have a plan with it. I pay like $10 a month or whatever it is, but you can send text messages from this anywhere on planet Earth. And it's all, there we go. It's all SATCOM, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the towers go down.
Yep.
We can communicate still, you know? And I'm a map nerd, so I love fucking GPS to start with.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, dude, do you remember the plugger when we were young Rangers?
It was the size of an iPad now. And the best
well, and
it could
4
do,
inches thick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the best it could do was spit out an 8-digit grid. That's all it could do. Maybe it could give you elevation as well.
I actually
graphic,
think,
no topo map.
I actually think it was a blessing in disguise that we were like the last generation of Rangers where if you want to get from point A to point B, you better understand how to use your map and your compass.
Do they not teach that anymore?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Okay.
I'm sure they do. But not only did we have to learn it, we had to apply it.
Yeah.
We didn't have a fucking GPS that's showing you a 10-digit grid, real-time updates, like what street you're on or whatever.
Drop into Fort Knox in the middle of the night and you look at your map sheet and there's like 5 contour lines on the entire map sheet in a 150,000th map. And you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah. We better get a dead reckoning. We better be right about where we are right now.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we're going to end up lost for a long time.
Yep. There's no train association.
Yeah.
You're out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And Cody Knight got killed on the jump.
Cody Knight that poor bastard.
He got notionally killed on the jump, for you guys wondering. Yeah. So how any training operation in regiment works is they assign casualties as you go through the mission. Like you might get shot entering a building, you might get fucking whatever, right? It's just trying to make it realistic training because we sustain casualties as a unit as we operate. And but we did a week-long mission, and as people got killed, they got pulled from the platoon for the rest of the week.
Cody Knight always got notionally killed because he was 6'7". So whatever ditch we were hiding in, or whatever dark corner we were tucked into, the OCs would always see him and be like, "Hey, Ranger, lay down. You're a casualty.
You're dead." And so he got killed on night 1 on the jump. And then we had to that was a week-long op in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, in the middle of the summer. And do you remember all of us had like a full-on tick infestation?
Prickly heat. And I got into some poison ivy. I had it all up and down both forearms. And then, I mean, everybody was going down heat. Like the entire platoon was a heat cat.
I remember when one of the squad leaders is like, "Hey, everybody fucking, we're going to do a tick check. Everybody
that was Sergeant Busk, the platoon sergeant.
No. It was Sergeant Bartlett.
Oh, was it?
That said we're going to do a tick check. And then Sergeant Busk goes, No, everyone leave your shirts on. we don't need to do a tick check because he was a little overweight. People think like everybody in the Ranger Regiment looks like fucking George St. Pierre.
No.
Fuck no, dude. No. There were some fat guys, but they could PT.
Fucking run.
They could PT, right?
Strong as shit.
And so he was one of our said fat guys, and he's like, No one take your shirts off. We don't need to do a tick check right now. But so I remember when we got back to the barracks.
Do you remember the smell?
Oh, of course, dude. Oh, just everyone smelled like ammonia and fucking nastiness.
Yeah. The boots coming off for the first time in 6 days, and that it was like 95 degrees with 98% humidity.
Ugh. Dude, that's the only time in my life that I've been so dehydrated that I got, you get like a Charlie horse in your calf or your quad.
It just won't go away.
I was getting them in my tongue.
Oh.
And I couldn't talk because my tongue would just cramp up and fold over on itself. And I was like, and I remember Sergeant Haney, who I don't know if you followed his career. He's been he went on to do a bunch of cool shit.
Oh, good.
I was throwing up and my tongue was folding over on itself. And he's like, Anderson, sit down. We're fucking putting an IV bag in you. You're fucked up. And I'm like, no, I'm good, Sergeant. And he looks at me and he's like, the time to be fucking tough is over.
It's gone.
You're fucking well past that. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. You're getting an IV bag. And then it wasn't long after that when they indexed the whole op because they're like, dude, this whole platoon is fucked right now.
We were en route to a hit. And they just said, fucking everybody, drop rucks. We're calling trucks.
Yeah.
It's like, were we privates then? We were privates or spec force? We were privates.
No, we were privates. Because I
was just struggling down that road and they were like, take a knee, drop your rucksack, we're done. I was like, oh.
Are you serious? Are you fucking with us right now?
They're fucking with us right now. Yeah. No, they were real.
All right, so we're unpacking my bag for the 5th time.
And by the way, the bag, it's better if your bag does not look like tactical Hooyah commando guy. Yeah,
this kind of looks tactical though.
Yeah.
I don't like this bag. I want to get a nicer one.
Okay.
And by nicer, I mean one that's a little less conspicuous.
I would even.
This is just a black fucking.
Go to Lowe's and get like a DeWalt tool bag because it's like heavy nylon.
Yeah.
Or a Milwaukee tool bag. You know what I mean?
Although meth heads like tool bags, so.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so I got my Garmin in there. I have Dude, I always have, because I need contacts to see, right?
I thought that was your hand sanitizer. Probably pussy.
No. I carry an extra set of contacts, and then also a set of just regular prescription glasses.
Nice.
Because if shit goes haywire, I want to be able to see.
Yep.
I still want, and if anyone's listening, send me your best recommendation on an EDC knife. But my EDC knife is a Leatherman multi-tool.
Columbia River, man. I've had this is a smaller one, but I have a longer Columbia River knife and tool works that I carried through every deployment in Afghanistan, every deployment in Iraq. And then my cousin gave me this one for Christmas because he knew I liked my Columbia River knife. And this thing's been inside my waistband for
ever since.
Yeah, 10 years.
And dude, I like find myself needing a knife all the time, and not because I need to stab someone in the neck, but because I need to open a package.
It's a tool.
I need to cut some tape.
Yeah.
I need to fucking cut an apple. You know.
And you know what else is in my pocket every day at work is just a box cutter, because it's a razor blade. You can get like 1,000 blades for $10.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when they get dull, you just swap them out. And I do have a Victorinox Leatherman style multi, pliers, screwdrivers, saw, all this stuff in my little get home backpack.
And then I have sunglasses, which I'm half ginger, so my eyes are super fucking sensitive.
Everyone in the Pacific Northwest understands that plight. We are like vampires. If the sun's even half out, we got sunglasses on.
All right, this is where it gets cool. 2 light sources.
Oh,
because 2 is 1 is none, right? Have you seen this?
Oh, so here, this rides in my belt too.
You got everything on your person right now.
It's inside my. So
who makes that one?
It's just cheap. It's Coast. It's probably Lowe's home brand.
Okay.
But here's the thing about being an electrician. LEDs are LEDs.
Yeah.
And the only difference between your high-end LED and the Lowe's house brand is the housing. So if you don't care if it's shockproof, waterproof, if it's not your infantryman's tool, it's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well just go to Lowe's and get 2 cheap ones.
Or you could go onto Amazon and buy this one for $200. But I'm gonna blast you in the face with it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So this Surefire stiletto, the whole reason I bought it, it's 1,000 lumens. So it's bright as fuck. Mm-hmm. But you know why I bought it, dude? Because going through your 1, 2, 3 batteries.
Yeah.
Dude, this is USB rechargeable.
Yeah.
And both my flashlight, and then I bought a headlamp as well.
Yeah.
That's right here. It's a Petzl. Is that how you say that?
That's what we were wearing in Afghanistan.
And it's before they had LED.
Yep.
But like it's super bright.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
And then it is also USB rechargeable.
Is it? Nice.
Because dude, batteries get fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And then like you're always wondering, especially with flashlights.
So
flashlights are dying constantly.
Yeah. And I go back and forth on that. So on my long guns, I have one flashlight that takes the 1, 2, 3 batteries and one that takes a single rechargeable pack. And I go back and forth on it because...
Are you going to be able to recharge it?
Exactly. If the power's out,
you should
recharge it. But also, I think 2 1 2 3s are exactly the same as the rechargeable power pack I have in the other housing.
And I was actually going to ask you about that because my rifle is set up, like I said, with the Elcan. And then I have, let me see, what Surefire is this? Yeah. It's the Surefire Scout, which is a badass light, right? Yep. And guess what? It's fucking dead.
Dead. Or does it need to be twisted? Because I keep mine half twist off so I don't accidentally discharge it.
You know what? I might not even have batteries in this. You're going to find me out to be a fucking... Nope. The batteries are in there and it's dead. So it's a good lesson, right? Because those 1, 2, 3 batteries, they're super fucking powerful.
And they go fast.
And then they die.
Yeah.
And it's not like, hey,
it doesn't start getting dim.
My light's
on.
Yeah.
And that's off.
It just goes, and it's gone. Yep. And so I wanted to get a new rifle light that was compatible with either, like you said, like your rechargeable pack or run batteries.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they have something that works either way, right?
Yeah. I in fact, I think what I have, I'll just talk about it right now. So going back to like that whole, all right, what do we spend? Where do we spend our money? So I was reading a few reviews and a couple of websites that I don't know if they're trustworthy or not were recommending this Feiachi knockoff tack light. It's basically a Chinese. Get it? Oh yeah. It's a Chinese knockoff tack light. And I can't really speak to its durability. Although considering it costs $35, what I need to do is just order one and bury it in my backyard for a year and
do a test run.
Yeah, dig it up, once a month and turn it on and throw it back in the hole and bury it again. So I actually ordered 2 of them, one for each rifle, and then I got to looking at my old Surefire, which 2nd Ranger Battalion kindly donated to me.
That was nice of them.
Yeah, it was super cool graduation present from them. And I was like, oh, LEDs are LEDs. So I just unscrewed the cap, pulled the LED out of the cheap Chinese light, shoved it replaced the incandescent bulb in the Surefire. And what do you know? It works.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So now
that's right. Cause we didn't have LEDs when we were in.
Right. And that significantly increases your battery runtime.
Yeah.
So now the long barrel rifle has a Surefire on it, but it's had its incandescent bulb replaced with an LED. So if you have an old Surefire, buy a cheap Chinese LED light and pull the LED out of it and pop it in there, because it doesn't matter how much you pay for your new LED flashlight. The LEDs probably came from the factory called Cree, C-R-E-E. That's where they all come from.
Is that Chinese bullshit?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people swearing at you right now.
Fucking guys.
Fuck you.
Yeah. And then so on my shorter gun, and again, I don't know if these Feiachi lights will stand up to sort of infantry life, but my guns also live in a safe and on occasion are in my truck.
Yeah, it's not the same thing anymore.
I don't know that I need a $300 Surefire because they're going to run, because they just don't get exposed to that kind of abuse.
And they're not jumping out of airplanes in a 1950. Yeah. Is that what it was called? Yeah, it was.
You're right. Yeah.
1950.
Yeah. That was another thought I had about. So those Comp M's, you look, and so I look at that 1 through 6 and I go, man, the durability, I don't know. You look at an Elcan, you look at an ACOG, and
this robust as fuck, dude.
I could fucking throw that thing at a brick wall, put it back on my gun, and it's good. You look at that 1 through 6 and you go, is that grunt proof? I don't know. But then you look at the Comp M, it didn't look much more durable than that. We jumped those things onto tarmac airfields.
Yeah, we fucking abused those things.
Yeah. And they held up, like aim point Comp M. That shit was legit.
And one of the most overlooked items, but if you don't have it, you're not a fucking warfighter, is a good sling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And honestly, you can make your, we used to make our own. Remember?
Yeah. That's
tubular nylon.
Tubular nylon, dude. Yeah. And it's a 2-point sling. Yep. If you have a 1-point sling, you're a faggot.
Hang on. I liked a 1-point sling when I worked for GRS. And actually, again, I made my own because I didn't like what was that. They gave us the one Dieter was hawking. I was like, what the fuck?
Dieter was pushing a 1-point, or
it was sort of like a dual. It could go 1 or 2. It didn't really work well in either situation. It had like bungee cords in it and shit, and it was like bouncing. Yeah, I didn't like it, but I stole the clip off of it, and then I cannibalized a H&K MP5 sling and used the nylon strap. In fact, let me pull it out of the safe.
Yeah, my thing with slings is, if you have bungee cord on your sling, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because if you need to walk for any period of time and your gun is bouncing every single step, it'll drive you fucking batshit crazy in no time. But the other thing about a 1-point sling is, if you need to go hands-on, or you need to secure your weapon tight to your body so you can use your hands for something else, 1-point slings are bouncing all over the place. It drives me fucking nuts, dude.
Disconnected myself. Okay, I got that backwards. So what I did was I cannibalized both a Dieter sling and an H&K MP5 sling, and I stole the clip from the MP5, and I cut all the bungee off the Dieter sling and kept just the base. This is a nylon strap. Right?
Yeah.
And so I'd wear it like this because we didn't keep our rifles slung. Our rifles were down by our feet where they were not visible. So I could have the sling on over my gear.
Oh,
just like
because
this.
it was a low pro operation.
Yeah. And that way, if we did have to jump out of the car, my sling was already around my neck and my shoulder. And all I had to do was just clip my rifle in and I was slung. And I liked that.
All right. Fair enough.
And I did like the mobility.
I was about to talk shit about it, but then, like you said, it's for a more of a low pro clandestine operation.
And a lot of guys had their 2-point slings rubber banded to their buttstock, and it's kind of in the way of your cheek weld and whatnot. And I just didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I liked that I could put the sling was already on, and really all I had to do was clip my rifle into it.
High speed shit, dude.
Pro tips.
All right. So I'm going to look over my notes right now because I think some of the basic shit is like, it's easy to overlook, but a gun, a holster, your spare mags, your knife or your multi-tool, your light source. I always keep an extra set of gloves in my car too. And I think that's important, dude.
Yeah. Again, because I work construction, we have Kevlar gloves that are really nice. Like they're breathable. They're honestly the best gloves I've ever been given for any purpose.
Dude, I like the mechanics.
So the mechanics are okay, but they're so thin, they're not really going to protect you from anything. And I'll actually have to hook you up with a pair of these Cutlass ones.
Yeah, hook me up. Because I just bought fucking like 6 pairs of the mechanics and just put one in every vehicle, one in my go bag, one in everything.
But my thoughts are like, if they're thin enough that you can have dexterity, what are they really doing for you other than like giving you grip when you're sweaty?
No, you're right, dude. And gloves aren't like the end all be all.
I'm going to walk back to the safe one more time
and get a pair of gloves. And then, like I said, my Garmin that has SATCOM text capabilities, our radio. And then, dude, the most likely thing that you can keep in your vehicle that's going to fucking aid your survival is some food and water.
Yes.
And a fucking whoopee.
Oh, yeah, or a space blanket.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but we're Rangers, so we need to carry whoopies, dude.
Yeah.
And so I've actually just bought it's a little rack that goes in the back of your car. And what it does is it allows you to have more storage, right? It goes like right up by the headliner. But
on the driver's seat? Or?
No. Like way down on the, way in the back of the car. Like you open your hatchback.
I got you.
And then you have, it's called Rago Fabrications. And you can see what it does is it just builds a shelf in the very back of your 4Runner.
I got you.
And it's only like 4 inches from the headliner, but that's where you can put all your bullshit. Slide all your stuff up there. Because, dude, like you run out of room in your car fast.
Oh, yeah. Especially you got kids and all that.
Bro, yeah, with 3 fucking kids. Yeah. So I bought that. And then I also got a bag that straps to the top.
Yeah.
And, bro, I'm telling you, that's a fucking game changer.
I've been meaning to order one. They're only $25. You get those waterproof giant duffel bags.
Dude, mine was $200.
Oh,
what the fuck? Oh, Jenny bought it.
Never mind.
Well, mine was also orange though.
Oh,
but yeah, bro, we fucking stuck like 5 suitcases up there and a bunch of other bullshit and drove to Montana.
Yeah.
And I don't, this is fucking, if State Patrol pulled me over, I would have got in trouble. But I laid all the seats down and put a fucking memory foam twin mattress back there.
Put all the kids back there.
I just let the kids fucking sleep the whole time. Because we're trying to get on the road by 5 a.m.
Yep.
If you put them in their car seats sitting up, like it's going to be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. 1986. My parents moved from Cleveland, Ohio to Omak, Washington in a station wagon. They just put the back seats down. And actually, my brother was an infant. And they put him in a cardboard box. He was like 2 months old. They put him in a cardboard box down between my mom's feet, and they put the seats down in the back of the station wagon. And my sister and I we had sleeping bags back there, and we'd either sleep or play or whatever. It's fucking it's the way it was.
Yeah, bro. And it ended up being a fucking rad road trip, and they slept for half of it.
Yeah,
you know,
it's so much. Think about being stuck in a seatbelt when you're an adult, just sitting there like, God, this sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, kids can't handle that.
So the other two things I think are important for EDC.
So sorry, the other thing I was going to bring
ahead.
up is like, I don't often leave a lot of stuff in my truck because crackheads break into trucks. So for me, it's kind of important to be able to grab it in one handful.
And get it in. Yeah, get it in and out.
Walk it out, throw it in the back seat.
That's because your whole garage is a fucking fitness center. So you don't get to park any. Like both of my cars get parked inside at night.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes it easy.
And actually, I mean, you know where I live. Our neighborhood's pretty nice. I don't think we have to deal with too much shit.
We don't either, but every once in a while you'll hear about a car being prowled. And usually it's because they forgot to lock the doors. But I'm big on the whole like gun responsibility thing. Like your guns need to be in your physical control, whether they're on your body or in your safe or in the vehicle with you. Locking it in your car and walking away, to me, that's not secure.
No, you're absolutely right.
And we'll probably get some hate on that one. Like, well, they shouldn't break into your car. Like, yeah, but motherfucker, crackheads break into cars.
Yeah. And now you're interjecting a fucking gun.
A thin skin F-150 is not a secure location.
No. And they actually make, they make nice safes that mount into your consoles of your vehicles.
Oh, okay.
Or underneath the seat or wherever, right?
So I have a pistol vault that but it just has a cable. So it's loose and it tucks into the back pocket of my seat liner. But then it's cabled around the seat thing. But I'm still like, I think that
if there's a will, there's a way, right?
Crackheads are good at getting through everything.
When I was a patrol officer, I actually had a stolen vehicle and I was dealing with the victim and he told me, he's like, fuck, there's a gun in the car. But he goes, but I had a safe mounted into the bottom of my console and that's where the gun's at. Yeah. And so he actually hopped in my car, which isn't really normal, but we were driving around together trying to find his truck.
Fuck yeah.
And we did.
Yes. And
so we pull up and we get out. The first thing he does is fucking pop open his fucking console and look in there. And his safe had like a bunch of
claw marks.
Yeah, claw marks where people were like trying to pry it open with screwdrivers and shit. Yeah. But they didn't get it out.
Oh.
And he opened it up and the Glock was still in there. He's like, fuck yeah, dude. So I wish I knew the company of that safe because that would be a good shout out. Yeah. I mean, his truck got stolen and they were actively trying to open it and they couldn't. Nice. Fucking crackheads, dude. Yeah. Well, meth heads. Yeah. But what's the difference?
Same thing.
I mean, I fucking talked about it last episode, but I had another incident at my gym.
Did you really?
Yeah, with the fucking...
Oh, you texted us all in the group text.
Yeah, the dude breaking fucking windows of cars and stealing purses in the middle of the day.
Oh, really?
Well, people are doing CrossFit, right?
Oh, shit. And that's funny. So I've been there for jiu-jitsu class, and I've thought, I'll just throw my sunglasses on the dashboard. I don't need to worry about it. The CrossFit people are going in and out, running up and down the driveway. No one's going to... Apparently not.
Bro, when I watched I pulled up the security camera footage of this guy. He's like walking around the parking lot.
Just nobody even pays him.
And they had an event that morning. So there was tons of people there. And so people didn't realize like, hey, this motherfucker didn't fit in, you know? Because there was a lot of people from surrounding gyms. Like we all came together and did a big event. And because of that, it wasn't just the normal community. So an unfamiliar face didn't stick out, you know? And then that motherfucker smashed windows and took purses. And bro, we need to arrive at a place.
Where people like that get beat down.
Beat the fuck down, dude.
And it gets known.
Like, hey, that's what has to happen. Because...
Or it will just continue to increase.
Well, and I know I'm beating a dead cat because I already went on a rant on this on last week's episode. That was his 5th felony of 2021.
Oh,
not of his life.
Just in the last 5 months or
no, 7 months. That was his 5th felony. And he has had 142 contacts with Snohomish County Sheriff's Office.
Jesus fuck.
And it's like, at what point do you just put motherfuckers down like the sick dogs that they are? Yeah. 142 contacts, 5 felonies. You're probably not a person that deserves to be part of our society. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But I had the cops tell me, they're like, well, listen, you know, we're going to see if we can establish probable cause for his arrest. And it's looking good. Well, yeah, no shit, it's looking good. I have a picture of his face right here. And they said, yeah, but we don't have we don't have video of him actually breaking into the car. I said, this dude has 5 other felonies. He wasn't a member of my gym.
This year.
Yeah, he had no business being on that property. Wow. And then they said, well, and hey, if we can't just make sure you don't do anything that like could get you in trouble. And I'm like
break windows and steal purses?
Yeah, exactly. Like he does whatever the fuck he wants to me. And apparently a lot of other people too, having 5 felonies in 6 months, and he's out walking around. But if I went out there and kicked that dude in the fucking head, I'd probably be sitting in a fucking cell somewhere. And that's what's so ass backwards about our society right now. Yeah. It panders to fucking drug addicts and criminals.
Yes.
And then fucking good people, we can't even fucking protect our own shit. Yeah.
The Seattle chief of police earlier this week was on the news saying, "Oh, we need to get guns out of people's hands because we're having a epidemic of violence." It's like, bro, you're having an epidemic of drug abuse, and you yourself have or maybe not the chief of police, but the Seattle City Council has decriminalized violence. It's not guns in people's hands that are causing violence. It's the decriminalization of crime.
Fuck Seattle PD.
Bro.
Fuck Seattle PD.
Fuck Seattle in general.
Dude, I fucking saw, and I haven't read the article yet, so I'm speaking kind of maybe out of term here, but I just saw the headline and it said 2 officers that attended Trump's rally are being terminated. And it's like, I would really like to know what those 2 officers did. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to look into that. Yeah. And the next episode we'll talk about it because, bro, it doesn't matter if you're part of the fucking... If they went to
an Antifa riot, would they be terminated?
No, they'd be good. That's what I'm saying. If you support fucking Trump, the radical fucking mob is out to get you. You can't support your president as a police officer.
The sitting president of the United States.
As a police officer. You can't do that.
That's crazy.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
And fuck that fat faggot new chief that just sits up there with his fucking jowls. He buttons up his fucking shirt so tight that it looks like he has 3 chins sticking out of his fucking uniform. Bro, and this is a perfect segue because I wanted to talk about a couple other things in regard to everyday carry that are absolutely important.
Yeah.
And the most important aspect of whatever you're doing as a man, as a citizen, as someone that has decided, you know what? I want to be ready to protect my community. So I'm going to carry a gun or I'm going to carry this knife. If you're a fat piece of shit who you can't even button your fucking shirt up without your neck looking like Jabba the Hutt, you're not ready to protect your community. Yeah. Everyday carry starts with your body functioning properly.
Yeah.
And that's why we used to do stress shoots in the regiment. Yep. Do you remember, we would do shoots on the range where they'd be like, Fernandez, get on a litter.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
And Fernandez was the biggest guy in the platoon. He was like 270,
I was
right?
Going to say 285.
Okay. Monster.
Whatever. Huge. Yeah.
And they'd put him on a fucking litter and we would have to fucking evac him from
with gas masks on.
Like a downed a notional downed helicopter.
They'd scream gas, gas, gas. And you have to mask up.
And you're running, I don't know how far it was, maybe 800 yards or something.
Maybe only 200 meters.
Well, dude, because remember the
that range was only I want to say a 200 meter range.
No, but when we evac'd him, it was down by the mock aircrafts. Remember that? Remember where Harrison made that dumb video with his girlfriend?
Yes.
Yeah. So
goddamn.
Yeah. So it was down by the mock aircrafts that we fucking evac'd him, and then we had to run to range 7. And bro,
you're right.
And I don't remember
take him all the way there.
Yeah, and I don't remember how far it was.
Wait,
but
hang
dude,
on. Did we run from there? They had an old Huey body out on the range. I think we ran all the way there with a quickie saw and all the breaching tools, and sawed the shit out of that helicopter body, then put Fernandez on a litter, then ran his ass all the way back to the barracks, which was probably half a mile. Now it's all starting to
you have a better memory than me.
Traumatic memories.
I mean, I'm 40 and we were 20 when we were doing that, so it's hard to say. But regardless, my whole point in bringing that up is when we would go to the range to hone our marksmanship skills, they would smoke the fuck out of you.
Oh yeah.
Because now you're shooting under an immense amount of stress.
Well, and your heartbeat's at 180. You're pegged.
When you can't when you can barely fucking breathe and you're trying to get a sight picture, that's a different thing than being some fat turd at a range, just fucking sitting there with your gut sticking out fucking 25 inches.
And anybody who has spent more than $5 on kit and has a muffin top, you're fucking up.
Yeah, you're fucking up.
And it's not too late to change. Like it's not going to be easy, but take care of your body. Your primary weapon is your physical body.
Bro, I've had people tell me, because I talk about this all the time, and I've had people write me emails. They're like, hey, this ain't fucking Game of Thrones anymore. We're not fighting with swords. Yeah. We're not, combat is not as physical as it used to be. I'm like, well, you certainly have never served in combat.
Yeah.
Just because I have an AR-15 that can shoot you from 300 yards, I still have to be able to get to cover.
300 yards.
Yeah, I have to be able to get to cover. I have to be able to fucking, like, we had a guy get shot in Ramadi, and my buddy Dallas, who's a Navy SEAL, threw this dude over his shoulder and ran him down like 5 flights of stairs, run across a parking lot, and throw him into the back of a Suburban and evac him, right? Yeah. Bro, fucking combat is hard.
It's fucking hard.
And if you're not willing to fucking put in the work, that's cool. I'm not saying everybody has to, but don't act like you're some fucking gunfighter with your belly.
I can't, and it's why I can't take like the Proud Boys thing seriously. It's because you look at those guys and it's like, maybe between 5 of them, they could get 20 push-ups. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of muffin top hanging out under that plate carrier. And it's like, you're not effective. Yeah, whatever it is you think you're doing with your plate carriers and your battle belts and your ARs, you're not ready.
Well, bro, and that is why, and that, also, hey, everybody has their right to do what they want to do. You want to open carry? Cool. You want to protest BLM with a bunch of, you want to do a counter protest where all your buddies show up with AR-15s? Cool. You do that stuff. Yeah. I want no part of it because
if you've got $3,000 worth of gear and a muffin top, you're a LARPer. Straight up. You're fucking
dude.
LARPing.
And you don't have a realistic mindset of combat if you want to march down the streets of Seattle face to face with all these fucking goons that are throwing fucking Molotov cocktails around and fucking smashing windows and stuff. Like, you're interjecting yourself into the center of this chaos. And the only reason you should be in the center of that chaos is if you're out there killing dudes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's no tactical advantage.
We've said it before, like,
of walking around out there with a gun.
It's a 1 in a million chance that an Antifa riot would come to either one of our neighborhoods. But if they do, they'll never see me.
Yeah.
Like, some dude will cock his arm back with a Molotov cocktail and then he'll drop dead in the street.
And you know what will happen immediately following that?
They'll all scatter.
They'll all fucking scatter like the scared little fucking pussies that they are. Yeah. You know? And that's something that I talk about a lot, dude. All of these fucking like radical left woke mobs that act like they have all this courage and they're going to fight and we're going to, like those gay guys saying, we're going to take your children, bro. When I shoot one of you in the face.
Yeah. And you're all going to run.
And you guys watch his fucking brain splatter out of the back of his head. Because I've seen that happen to people before. Yeah. Those people haven't seen that. Yeah. And I'll tell you what their reaction is going to be. Fucking panic.
Gone.
Yeah. Like they don't want any of this anymore. You know? Dude, and that's why I want the wheels to fall off, dude.
There's a part of there's like that part, like, you don't want it to happen because you've seen the pictures of like Sarajevo and Berlin and shit when like war came to town. It's not fucking good. Or even I lived in Mosul and even like Al Hilla, where it was fairly quiet, but the war was still in town, and it's not great. It's not even good.
No, it's terrible.
You don't want it in your town, but there's a part of it's just because we're old fucking Rangers who are like, yeah, come to my neighborhood. Go ahead, light that Molotov, because at the point where I can articulate intent, means, and opportunity, fucking dropping you.
Yeah, but bro, it's not. I used to say, like, I don't want my children to have to grow up in a war zone. I don't want them to have to experience the kind of shit that we fucking experienced, right?
But we don't want them soft either.
No, and I also don't know if the trajectory of this country can change without some people standing up and saying, we're done with your fucking bullshit.
I think it's coming. I think more.
That's what I'm saying. I think it has to come.
I think it's coming.
And I just want, I mean, what is our whole mission, especially as parents, is we want to leave a world to our children.
It's better, or at least
exactly.
Yeah, at least as good
or better than what we had, right?
There's some meme where some dude's holding a sign that's like, there is no other country coming to save you. This is it. This is the last stand. And it's true. This is it. If this nation fails, what is left? Like what better play? And here's the funny thing, like, so the extreme left is super on their high horse about immigration and not letting the people out of Latin America up across the border. Well, if America's so horrible, why is there a horde at the border trying to get in?
No, exactly.
Answer me that.
Yeah.
Answer me that.
It's so horrible that people from all over planet Earth want to be here.
Yeah.
Yet the people that live here, half of them want to bitch about it.
But they won't leave.
No, they won't. That's exactly it. Why won't they leave?
Go ahead.
Like that stupid fucking bitch at the Olympic trials that turns her back on the national anthem. And here's the thing. There is a lot.
And she's there. She has put in insane effort to be at that level of athleticism to represent her country.
Yeah.
And
but
now,
she hates her country.
Now all of a sudden she's going to be like, oh, hang on, I don't like this.
And here's the thing, like,
get the fuck out.
When that's how you conduct yourself, because guess what? There's a lot of aspects of this country that I'm not proud of. There's a lot of aspects of this country that I think need to be fixed.
Oh, but
I understand that.
Probably the one country that really like acknowledges it and works. We fought a civil war to end slavery.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
What other country can you point at that has fought a war against itself to end slavery?
And so for these people that want to just fucking trash on our country, it's like, yeah, I don't like the administration. I don't like a lot of like the political movements in our country.
Go into public service, make it better.
But guess what?
Yeah.
Being a patriot isn't about liking your president. Being a patriot is understanding that even though America has its problems, we're still in the best fucking country on planet Earth. And if you don't think so, go live abroad because you will come back and understand.
Or get involved and make it better. But rioting and like breaking shit and looting stuff, like you're not making anything better. You're making it worse.
Well, and all those people, their mission isn't to make it better.
I know.
Their mission, they're just opportunistic. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that fucking bitch, like on the fucking podium. Oh, what are you? You know what I mean?
She's attention whore.
Of course. That's what I was just going to say. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. I'm going to take an opportunity to make this about this about me. And it's like, guess what, bitch? It's not about you because you're in the third place podium. Bro, when I was in the third place podium on jiu-jitsu tournaments, I was embarrassed to be up there. It was like, God damn it, dude. If I'd lost a little earlier in the tournament, I wouldn't have to be standing up here.
Right.
You know? Yeah. Silver? Okay. There's one person better than you. That's pretty cool, right?
I've been on a 5th place podium in mountain biking, like hang on. How many guys were in the division? 8? Oh, okay. All right. I'm just gonna go. Yeah. Fucking hell.
So yeah, the one thing that gets neglected more than anything is your physical body, but that's because it's the hardest.
Hey,
it's the hardest. Dude.
You know what you like to talk about? Jiu-jitsu.
Of course, I like.
Why do you think I've been showing up for fucking? I don't, and it's funny. Like I don't enjoy it, like I think a lot of people do, but I feel like violent conflicts are more inevitable now than they ever have been because of the lack of policing. Not because the police don't want to police, but because they're hamstrung.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of the, you know, like we've sort of just said, all right, thug behavior is cool.
Yeah.
Like Sean from the gym that I work with, he and I were walking to get teriyaki 3 weeks ago at lunch. And like, we saw this homeless guy coming. We're like, oh, fuck. He looks deranged. He's kind of muttering to himself. We just kind of walk by him, and then he starts screaming. And he's like chasing us, and like, every time I turned around and squared up on him, he'd stop and like just yell at me, and he's pointing at me, and I'm looking at it, I was like, God, he's fucking disgusting. I don't want to have physical
You
contact.
definitely don't want to fight him unless you have to.
No, absolutely not. And I was afraid he's going to start spitting because he's like, I mean, I have no idea. What he's yelling is unintelligible. But then every time we turned around to walk away, he would run behind us and like just continue yelling at us. And it's like, oh, fuck, we're going to have to fight this guy. Bro. And at some point, like a minute and a half into this, he spotted someone across Sandpoint Way, like 5 lanes of traffic, and just beeline, like cars are like, it would have been the best thing in life if he had just got hit.
Yes.
But he beelined across 5 lanes of traffic to go yell at somebody on the sidewalk on the other side of the street. And it's like, all right, now we can go get our chicken teriyaki.
Bro, and I'm telling you, again, I talk about this a lot. I'm done with their game.
Yeah.
Whatever this social experiment that they're fucking making us all live through.
Yeah.
If you let one of your fucking zombies whose brain doesn't work, who's fucking drooling and like literally something out of The Walking Dead.
That's not too far off from what this guy was doing.
Bro, it doesn't. No, I literally know what you're talking about. I've dealt with these guys when I was a police officer.
Yeah.
Your words don't even register to them. No. There is no audible communication.
No.
You can't talk to them whatsoever. They're like
you
fucking...
You have to beat them to the point of incapacitance.
Yes. Yeah. And so like... You want to fucking play that game when I'm somewhere with my kids?
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck you up, dude. Yeah. I'm done with their fucking games. Yep.
But that's why I'm at your gym.
Yeah. Well, we need to work leg kicks, which is not part of jiu-jitsu, but I have determined that leg kicks are the best answer to homeless people because
keeps physical distance.
People can think whatever they want about leg kicks, and if they talk trash on them, it's because they've never been kicked by a high level someone that knows what they're doing. Yeah. Bro, you can't fucking stand anymore.
Good.
You know, like you watch the UFC, like when Uriah Faber fought Jose Aldo, he incapacitated him with leg kicks. Nice. That's it, dude. Yeah. And that's a professional fighter. Yeah. You kick one of these fucking rotten, homeless, methed out fuckers one time, they're not going to be able to stand again.
Good.
And that's what you need because I think about the same thing. Like all their teeth are rotten out of their head. No, they got sores all over their face. The
last thing you want is
you don't want to grapple that.
Yeah. No.
You know, you might even be able to articulate a deadly force encounter. You know, like I don't want this guy on top of me.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't want hepatitis.
Deadly pathogen. COVID.
That's fuck yeah.
Delta variant. Fuck, man. I should be able to shoot him from 100 yards.
And then, dude, the last thing that I think is overlooked, which this might be the most important part of all of this from everything we've talked about today. You can be in shape. You can have fucking cool gear. You can have nice guns. You can fucking have all of your T's crossed and your I's dotted.
Training.
If you don't have a group of people.
Oh, okay. So we got two things, community and
training. And those two are actually very closely intertwined. Right. But bro, nobody ever fucking had success in any type of fucking like
Rambo's a myth.
Yeah, Rambo's a
Colonel
myth.
Matrix.
That's right, dude. Like you need people that you can rely on to your right and your left. And I've thought about it, bro. If it gets to the point where we need to fucking like flee to the woods, we'll go old school infantryman tactics. Oh. We'll put towers up with interlocking sectors of fire.
Slaughter.
We'll have fucking challenge and pass. And if you don't know it, you're getting fucking killed on the spot. Yeah. And we'll have like full on perimeter that is manned by people that are ready to fucking kill. And then you have your women and children on the inside. But the reality of it is, for anything to work, you need a group of people that are on the same page.
Yes.
If you don't have a group of people that are on the same page, I don't care how badass you are. I don't care how good of a fighter, how good of a shooter you are. Yeah. You're one guy.
And in that situation, you need major logistics.
Mm-hmm.
You need food, sanitation, drinking water. Like you can't just hang out for 2 weeks. You might make it 2 weeks, but eventually rations run out. The shitholes fill up.
Well, and bro, once rations run out, now we're doing ops.
Yeah.
We're seizing food from fucking rival fucking clans. Yeah. And it's like, hey, bro.
It's back to Viking days.
Hey, you might be cool. Yeah. And in a different fucking scenario, you might be at my house watching UFC and we might be homies. Yeah. But right now.
Are you challenging me?
Right now, our kids are hungry.
Yeah.
And they haven't eaten in 4 days.
Yeah.
So what's yours is mine.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But bro, that's how we're supposed to live. That's why even talking about this feels exciting, because it's like from the beginning of time until 200 years ago, being a man was about these kind of things.
Maybe even
less.
50
yeah.
years ago.
Right.
Yeah. It's only our generation where masculinity's been under attack.
Dude, that was the episode that came out today was all about masculinity being under attack. Yeah. It's fucking asinine.
It's ridiculous.
Dude, masculine men has been what has fucking secured the futures of human beings.
Do you enjoy
from the beginning of time?
Yeah. Do you enjoy driving over a bridge to get across a river?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's not that women can't design a bridge. It's that I was in engineering school. It was 95% dudes because we're just drawn to that kind of shit. And women, it's not that they're not capable. They're just not drawn to it. It's not their jam.
Well, bro, and it's funny. You should have been on last week's episode because I talked about all this stuff. We're not all equal. No. And that's that might not be a popular thing to say.
Clearly better looking than you.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that. We're not all equal. Women and men are different. Our feminine and our masculine energies are better at different aspects of life.
And Jen does a wonderful job with our kids. Mm-hmm. And I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I struggle to be a B+ dad.
And then when you tell your kids, hey, cut it out, knock it off, go upstairs.
They just laugh.
Then she's fucking scowling at you.
Yeah.
Why are you so hard on our boys?
Yeah.
You know, another story I told last week, I said, literally every man I know, like every man's man that I know had a moment where he challenged dad and he got fucked up.
Yep. Oh, it's coming.
And I remember you telling me your story. You challenged your dad one time.
I punched him.
Yeah. It didn't work out so well for you.
Fucking annihilated me.
Because a 14-year-old boy is not ready to fight a man. No. You think you are.
I thought
and I don't know why you think you are. I don't know.
It's testosterone. It's hit your system for the first time. It's the same reason.
I just want to fuck hot chicks and beat people up. And you're in my way, Dad.
It's the same reason your dick will control your life for fucking 20 years. You have your actual brain is not from the age. Hey, what are the stats on violent crime? Males age 15 to
35 or whatever. Yeah.
Those are the same ages.
Thinking with their dick, dude.
Exactly. That's the same age where your dick leads your life. You want to fucking fight.
And I wouldn't have it. Yeah. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh shit.
But it's just bizarre that's like here's another very unpopular thing to say that I joke about. I'm like, consent is 200 years old. Right? My body, my choice. No. From the beginning of time until 200 years ago, your body, my choice. Yeah. And I'm not saying that's how it should be. Like, let's be serious. But that's how it was.
Yeah.
Like, this whole fucking idea that like everything.
Watch chickens. Have you ever had? Do you know anybody that has yard chickens?
Yes.
Have you ever seen a rooster mate?
No.
It's not consensual. My mom had me go kill our roosters because she was tired of watching rape in our backyard.
Sounds like some fucking deep-seated trauma, dude.
Yeah, bro. Like,
and dude, let me unpack that a little bit because I'm not saying like, man, I wish I could go back to the old days where women didn't have a say. Like, I think our society's cool. I think women should have a voice. I think they should have a choice. I think they should be voting. I'm not some fucking crazy chauvinist, right? Yeah. But at the same time, we also have to understand where we came from and how we got here.
We're animals.
And fucking strong men paved the way for everything that we see now. And I'm not saying we can't change. I'm not saying we can't have a new approach or look at things a little differently, but let's not be dishonest with ourselves. Fucking masculine men is what fucking paved the way for us to go to the fucking moon, for us to win World War II, for all this shit.
By the way, the most important thing you can do ever for society is raise your children well. And the best way to do that is to have mom at home with them. It makes a fucking huge difference. And it's not a lesser position. It's a fucking important position.
No, I like
it. It is the most fucking important position.
I like that you said that.
Raising your offspring is the most important thing you can do for society. Or I should say, raising them well. And if your kids are latchkey kids, you're not raising them. My wife is raising our kids, and she's doing a fucking goddamn good job of it.
Does she ever feel
no
like she's not contributing enough?
No, because she's on board. Well, I think at times I think what she wants is adult time.
Yeah.
Which she misses.
So my wife, a lot of times, and it's actually getting worse lately, she will say like, because I earn the money in the house, and then she's a stay-at-home mom, and she feels like because she doesn't contribute financially, that she's not contributing to the marriage in an equal manner.
Yeah.
And I tell her, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you think I could do any of this without you?
Did you guys ever do two working parents with any of your kids?
Yes.
It was horrible, right?
Yeah, it was horrible.
It was fucking terrible.
And you cannot, I don't care how fucking good of a parent you are.
If you're not home, it doesn't matter.
It's
You
hard.
can be the best parent in the world.
It's hard
if you're
to give,
fucking at work, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it's hard to give the kids the attention that they need.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there was a time in our life where Jenny was the breadwinner.
Yeah.
And I went from being an Army Ranger to,
you were a student.
to sitting at home, going to college online,
Siler was a baby.
raising a fucking baby.
Yeah.
And bro, you want to talk about a fucking nightmare. I mean, I went from patrolling in fucking Afghanistan with a fire team to having this puking thing on me all day. Well, Jenny was at work, right?
Yeah.
And that's another thing is like men are not emotionally cut out to deal with a screaming fucking baby.
No.
And I did it and I succeeded, but I'll tell you, it's the hardest fucking thing I've ever done. I would rather go on patrol in Ramadi knowing I'm going into an ambush.
Absolutely.
Than have this puking, screaming child on me.
Before my dad died, I said, you know what? I've been a Army Ranger and a CIA paramilitary operative, and the hardest fucking thing I've ever done is raise children.
100%, bro.
Without, not even close.
Well, and it's because everybody thinks when they think about, like you said, like working for the CIA, being an Army Ranger, that stuff is cool. And it sounds badass, and it is badass on its surface. And you're jumping out of planes, and you're fast roping out of helicopters, and you're shooting machine guns, and there's bombs going off. All that stuff is cool.
It is,
but it's also simple.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like just because it's dangerous,
take care of me.
Yeah, just because it's dangerous doesn't take away from the simplicity of it. Yeah. And it's like, hey, I got to go here at this time. Yeah. We're hitting this house.
This child's crying. Attack!
Yeah. Hey, it's not a fucking HVT in a house that you're hitting.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you get killed or your buddy gets killed. Like, the mission is clear cut.
Yeah.
This is what needs to happen. This is your role in it.
Yeah.
There is no clear cut mission. Parenting. It's
not clear cut. It's so fucking hard.
It's the opposite of that. Yeah. It's shut the fuck. God damn it, dude. They won't stop. Are you fucking hungry? Are you what? Are you tired?
You pooped again?
You pooped? Like, what the fuck, dude? And it's just this revolving door of problems that you don't have the solution to. And guys like us are solution oriented.
Yes.
Hey, this is the problem. I don't care how hard the solution is. I don't care if it's a fucking 5-kilometer walk up this mountain. That's the solution. Roger that. Let's go.
Let's do it.
You can't do that with parenting. There is no solution. And dude, you know what I fucking hate is that I'm going to have 3 teenage girls at the same time.
Oh, fuck.
And all of my friends tell me is like, it never gets easier. It just gets different. And I'm like, that doesn't fucking give me a warm and fuzzy, you know?
I'm going to have 2 teenage boys. I'm just going to need a lot of Drano.
Yeah, bro, it's a weird time. It's a weird time to be a kid too, because or all of our fucking kids, our kids are growing up in an era where everything is available to them. Siler knows more shit than I do about everything.
Really?
And it's because, oh, well, I saw this on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what else did you see on YouTube? Well, they saw anything they wanted on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like,
if it wasn't,
I'm not the best at monitoring screen time
No.
Like during the day, if I see them on the iPads, I'll be like, hey, turn that shit off. Go outside.
You can only do so much.
You know? But at the end of the day, if they want to fucking get on the internet and explore shit, they're going to figure out a way to do it.
I'm about to pee myself.
Go pee yourself, dude. And I'll just keep talking about some of the stuff that I wrote down here. I think it's important for us as people that are thinking about preparedness to start to put a high level of emphasis, like I said, on your physical body. But preparedness, it literally starts with your body, and then it expands out to your vehicle. And what are your capabilities within your vehicle? Where can you go? What capabilities does your actual vehicle have? For instance, I have the Predator steps on my 4Runner. And when my buddy Greg Lapin saw that, because his vehicles are tricked out for mobility and capability, meaning they're good to go on the highways, they're good to go in the swamps, they're good to go on these fucking like dirt paths that are just fucking barely roads. And when he saw those Predator steps, he goes, those things will get you stuck. Take them off and get rock sliders. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to take them off and put rock sliders on them because that's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But I get what you're saying, and it makes sense to me. And so as you look at everything, every aspect of your life, you can apply a capability mindset, or you can kind of have your head in the sand and not think about how this could facilitate success in insert whatever emergency situation. When it comes to your vehicles, I know Mike Glover posted a video a couple weeks ago, and it was about the California wildfires, and people were having to drive their cars through like a overland movement through some grass and over some dirt roads, and their vehicles that were capable of doing that, people were escaping. Their vehicles that weren't capable of doing that, they were getting fucking, like, the fire was rushing. Did you see that stuff?
You were talking about the wildfires in California?
Yeah, but like, did you see Mike Glover's video? He was posting like...
Is this recently or the fires that were like 2 years ago?
I don't remember when the fires were from, but he posted a couple weeks ago, and it's like, make sure that your vehicles are capable, because people were literally having to outrun wildfires with their cars.
Is there some...
Nobody thinks...
Hang on. Is there a vehicle that's really capable, other than just flooring it and going for it? Is there really such thing as like a fire-capable vehicle?
No. I'm not saying there's a vehicle that like we get engulfed in flames. That's not cool because it's a White Claw.
I know, but we're out of beers.
I'm not saying there's a vehicle that can get engulfed in a flame and it's like, hey, you're good to go. I'm sure there's some weird South African fucking ambush truck that can sustain a fire. But just the ability to fucking maneuver a 4Runner. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I honestly think like at this point in my life, I would never own just a regular fucking street car, you know?
No. And I have a pickup truck. It's utilitarian. But what I like about it is I have the extended towing tank on it. So I can go 600 miles on a tank. And I've thought about, I was thinking about mobility today because I knew we were going to talk about, EDC and sort of capabilities and whatnot. And in Western Washington, how good is an like if you're in Utah or New Mexico or Texas or one of these places where it's flat desert?
Yeah, you can go wherever you want, right?
Yeah, you're not going to pull off the road and go busting through the forest here. You're pretty well stuck on asphalt roads where we live because the forest is dense. So it sort of eliminates a lot of that. Like you might as well just have a fuel tank with a lot of range. And like I get the part about like a reliable engine that like has some torque to it and you can floor it and get out of there. I don't know how much you're, not yours, but guys who spend, thousands and thousands of dollars turning their pickup or whatever into like an overland vehicle. If you're not in an area where you can actually drive, if you're on the highway, if you can't take a hard right without hitting a bunch of trees and brush and shit.
Yeah, you're not fucking going very far.
Exactly.
I would say probably the biggest capability I don't know. I would still want, I mean, I wouldn't want to be in a fucking Honda Civic
No.
on the zombie apocalypse. I would want to be able to jump curbs.
Because it might be in January. And if you got to cross Stevens Pass, it's good to have 4-wheel drive. And yeah.
Have you thought about that? Because I used to have like our bug out plan was go to Coeur d'Alene to Seth's ranch.
Got it.
And that was, he's like, bro, if shit goes bad, you guys come here.
Yeah.
And, bro, he was so funny. He's like, and I'm not going to say anybody's name on the air, but he's like, don't bring that motherfucker. He's like, he goes, I'm extending this to you and your kids. And I don't care if they're your homie or not. More people aren't welcome on the ranch. Do you hear me? Yeah. But so I bought like a 300 gallon fuel tank to go in the back of my diesel pickup truck.
Yep.
And fuck, man, I wish I'd filled that up. It's still empty. You know, when gas prices were half of what they were.
How long does diesel keep for?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Gas does not have a long shelf life.
So what I was going to buy is you can get farm diesel.
Okay.
And then you can also get it with, what's the word I'm looking for? Ethanol free. Yeah. And the ethanol free stuff lasts a lot longer.
Oh, interesting.
And so...
Good to know.
But I guess if you get caught with farm diesel in your truck, State Patrol comes after you. But guess what? Fuck you. It's the apocalypse. I'll run whatever the fuck I want.
I'll tell you a story offline.
Do we need to do a fucking, what is it? The dip test or whatever to see the color of the fuel in your truck?
I have an F-150. It's gas.
Okay. Yeah. This is just a complete fucking sidebar, but I'm actually loaning my diesel truck to a friend right now.
Are you really?
Because she took her family's diesel truck and put gas in it the other day on accident.
Oh, no.
And she's a fucking badass, like super smart girl. And this is just one of those moments.
Say her name.
And she goes, you know what though? I fucking drove right to the fucking like... mechanics.
Yeah. Like,
and
this is what I did.
And I said, hey guys, I fucking just put gas in my husband's diesel truck.
Oh God.
What do I got to do? And you know what they told her?
I need a restraining order.
Dude, you know what they told her?
What?
They said, well, I'm really happy that the first thing you told us is you put gas in a diesel truck. Cause now we know what we're dealing with as a problem.
Yeah.
She goes, we get this problem all the time.
People try to lie about it.
And people try to lie about it.
Yeah.
Said they show up and they're like, yeah. I don't have any idea what's going on. You know, like, and then they try and like create some scenario where like, a buddy borrowed my truck yesterday or whatever. And so like everybody lies about it. And
I was in Kellogg, Idaho for a mountain bike race, and coming home, I stopped on the Idaho side of the border to get gas because they have less gas tax. And it fucking tripped me out because the pump handle was green. And I fucking stared at that thing for like a minute and a half, and it's like regular, mid-grade, premium. I was like, but the pump handle's green. And I was like, I don't know what to, I'm kind of looking at other people who are pumping gas and their pump handles are green. I was like, maybe it's just because it's Idaho. Maybe they don't use green for these. Yeah. And finally I was like,
is that a Washington State thing? That has to be an international thing.
I think it is, but I don't know. But finally, after I saw enough people with a green pump handle in their like sedan, I was like, all right, I guess I'm safe. But it took me a good 2-3 minutes before I was willing to put that thing into my truck and push regular. So like it says regular, but it's green.
So Jenny told her, she goes, if
that is a Washington State thing for everybody else who's listening,
change the shit.
At least in Washington State, diesel pumps have green handles. Yeah. I don't know if that's nationwide.
I think it must be, dude.
I would think so.
So dude, she got gas in my truck a few hours ago and texted me this.
What?
No, she's doing the right thing.
So this is a green handle with regular gas.
No.
Oh.
I'm saying.
Oh, she's putting diesel.
She's letting me know. Hey, I'm putting diesel in your truck.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, dude, I just drove to Montana. How come? Well, I guess I know because states can vary taxes however they want on gas prices.
We have the 5th highest in the nation.
As soon as I got into Idaho,
Yeah.
gas was like 60% less, or 60 cents
60
less
cents.
a gallon.
Yep.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Gas tax.
All right, one more thing, and then we can wrap this up. But this is really important. So gas tax.
Yeah.
Infrastructure, roadways.
But our bridges are falling.
That's what I'm saying.
The West. So I actually wrote an open letter to Jay Inslee, and I tried to get it into the Seattle Times. And one of the points I made was, this is when they were trying to restrict 30-round magazines in the interest of public safety. And I was like, hey, we have the 5th highest gas tax in the nation. The Skagit River Bridge, I-5 bridge,
just fell into the river.
Fell into the river.
Yeah.
And as we speak right now,
and for people listening, we literally mean the bridge on I-5, which collapsed. Is the biggest one of the biggest interstates in the country.
Nation. Yeah,
just fell into the river.
Fucking fell into the river. And I had actually driven over it like 30 minutes prior.
Oh shit!
And right now, the West Seattle Bridge is closed because it's not safe for passage.
And they said that's going to be years. Before they can repair that.
Those people are stranded out there. They have to go down to like
the Spokane Street Bridge,
yeah,
which is a 2-lane residential bridge, dude. That's right where I used to work as a police officer.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, because that bridge went out during COVID, right? Really? And I remember thinking like, dude, when these lockdowns end and people go back to life and this bridge is not fucking operable,
yeah, shit
show.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure it's shit show now.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I have mountain bike friends who don't ride anymore because they can't get off West Seattle. It's like, fuck, dude.
But so our tags on our car, we call them tabs in Washington.
Sorry, to wrap up my point.
Yeah, go ahead.
If he cared about public safety, he'd be doing something about infrastructure. And bro, half the reason I have a 4-wheel drive truck is to get to work in Seattle. The potholes, and like even just going down I-5, the heat like crumpled the roads so bad. And it's like, our roads are fucking falling apart. You can't tell me you care about public safety.
And how do they not have enough money to pave fucking roads?
Because they're spending it all. We need $250 million to combat homelessness.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
But homelessness keeps growing.
And
so does drug addiction.
Or your COVID lottery.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, our infrastructure is just fucking shit. Yeah. But this is what really got me thinking about this the other day, because we have to pay, I don't even know what it is, a year to drive your car on the road, right?
Oh, it's almost $1,000 if you have a nice car.
Oh, if you're in that
tabs, we're in the RTA zone.
Oh, we're outside of the RTA zone.
I'm licensing my truck at your house.
Do it, dude. Yeah. Do it. Fuck the government, dude. But I remember thinking like, okay, they get us on tags because your money that you pay to driving's not a right, it's a privilege. And the government upkeeps the roads and the government takes care of this and takes care of that. So you have to pay this. And I can understand that argument, right?
Sure. Yeah. But do it.
But why do I have to pay $700 a year to put a little fucking sticker of registration on my boat?
Oh.
What do you think that is? And if you're listening and you know, please tell me. I'm not saying that I know. I'm saying, why do I have to pay $700 a year to the government to drive my boat around the ocean?
Right. International.
Right? Yeah, right? Like, you're not upkeeping
you're not
upkeeping shit, right? Yeah. But in order to use my own boat with my own family, and that thing fucking guzzles gas as it is. A boat is an expensive hobby.
No.
But regardless, dude, $700 a year to fucking use the public waterways. You wonder why everybody's ready to go fucking postal, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you. And if you come at me and you say, oh, because of the boat launches, that's a $15 fee every time you use them.
Yeah. No, it's not a, is it
so
a
save that
boat launch or is it a private?
I don't know. The one I used to.
One way or another, you're paying for it.
I'm paying for it. So fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, tonight was fun. We drank some beers. You cooked some steak and you kind of ranted about some shit.
Good.
But is there, I mean, we're not EDC experts.
No, we barely cracked the surface.
But I think we got enough.
The point is educate yourself. There's a ton of information out there between YouTube and all the various social media channels. Like we already hit, Mike Glover is probably the guy to follow if you're really like interested in this stuff. Yeah. Oh, And if I could take a history nerd moment,
Take it, dude.
Your boy Andy Stumpf, his latest episode, John Stryker Meyer, Mac
And
Lee
Mike
song,
Glover.
Fucking amazing.
Was it a
bro.
great episode? So I haven't listened to it yet, but
And
Andy
I'm
said,
such a history nerd, and like the books written by those guys are the reason I joined the Army, and the reason I looked for that, the reason I had an option 40 contract for the Ranger Regiment is because of those guys and their stories. And so to listen to that guy talk and tell his story, bro, I was in heaven.
that's fucking rad,
Fucking
dude.
amazing. Yeah.
You know what? I actually, shortly after that, I got an email, and it said, I'm going to butcher this, but it's like, hey, I don't remember if it was his dad or his grandpa or whatever, but was one of those like MACV-SOG guys in Vietnam.
Yeah.
If you would like to use your platform to tell his story.
Can I sit on it?
Yeah, bro. No, that'd be cool, right?
Sit on it.
And he goes, and what the guy said, he goes, I think it's important for us to start immortalizing their stories.
Yes.
Because that era of fucking warrior, I mean, it used to be the World War II guys that are dying off. That's the Vietnam era guys.
Yeah.
And those fucking dudes did some awesome shit, dude.
Yeah.
And it's like I always say, put the politics of the war aside, right?
Don't
whatever reason we were there or we weren't there, like,
doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
What the Warriors did, the Warriors did.
Yeah, dude.
It's fucking amazing.
I'm gonna listen to that tomorrow,
It's
dude.
so good.
Because Mike or Andy posted, he said like, this is the best podcast I've ever done.
It might be the best podcast ever recorded, period.
That's so fucking rad, dude.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good note to leave it on. You might like the Endless Endeavor, but go listen to Cleared Hot episode, whatever it is, because
John Stryker Meyer.
it's fucking rad.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.